3 points vital now for both sides then at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United take on Cardiff City. And let's go there, live on Talksport with the commentary team of former England striker Dean Ashton alongside Adam Bridge.
You have to go back to 2011 for the last time Sheffield United lost 4 championship games in a row. But after topping the table at the start of April, a week from hell finds them fighting to stay alive in the race for automatic promotion. Oxford, Millwall and Plymouth all defied the odds in beating the Blades. And if Cardiff could do the same today, a 10th trip to the playoffs would be inevitable for Chris Wilder's side. The Bluebirds have their own battles, with relegation almost as certain as the fate which awaits today's opponents. Since Omar Reza took charge, no team has won fewer points in the Championship, and a first drop to the 3rd tier since 2002 under Lenny Lawrence is looming large. Reza's pre-game rant about the supporters knowing nothing certainly won't have helped galvanise a fractured club he's been the lone spokesman for throughout this season's travails. But the 1,000 plus who've made the journey today from South Wales know, as do the 20-odd thousand on their home turf, that nothing less than victory is all that matters today. Or on the eve of the World Snooker Championship here in Sheffield, both these sides might just end up needing snookers. It's going to be the traditional red and white shirts, black shorts and black socks for Sheffield United, who applaud the Kop away to our right hand side, and it's the blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks for Cardiff City away to our left. A reminder of that team news, 4 changes for each. Cooper's in goal for Sheffield United, Chowdhury, Holding, Ahmedhodzic and Burrows across the back, Peck and Sousa in midfield, with Raksaki, Brewster and Harmer supporting Tyrese Campbell. McCallum, Moore, O'Hare, Robinson, Brereton, Diaz, Cannon, Brooks, Sariki and Davis are on the substitutes bench for the Blades. 4 changes for Cardiff, Horvath's in goal, Rinomhota, Fish, Chambers and O'Dowda across the back, Robertson and Mansverk in midfield, with Tanner, Alves and Mate supporting Salek, who will lead the line for Cardiff. Turner, Gutas, Darland, Turnbull, Willock, Bagan, Colville, Simic and Ashford are the substitutes for Cardiff City. Tony Harrington is the man in charge, and alongside me this afternoon is the former Norwich West Ham crew striker Dean Ashton. I mean, there's a few empty seats around us, but again, the atmosphere always special here, and Sheffield United need that today.
Yeah, they do. Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, it's massive for both of these sides, what it can mean at the end of this game, where you sit, how it affects you mentally going into that final run-in, and what's gone before now needs to be forgotten. It's a massive game, you've got to focus.
And Cardiff are defending the goal away to our left-hand side in front of their supporters. Well, that's where Sheffield United are going to be firing in the opening 45 minutes, and the first free kick of the game goes the way of the Bluebirds, and it's about 10 yards inside the Sheffield United half. They've only won one of their last 8 in the Championship, 2 of 13 if you want to go further back. Just 11 points gathered, the lowest tally in the Championship over that period, and it is just 2 wins in 23 games away from home. So it's all to do for Omar Reza's side this Good Friday. Here comes the free kick, swung in right-footed to the far edge of the penalty area. An early goal would certainly ease their nerves and maybe cause a few more for Sheffield United, given the week they've just had. And they're on the attack here towards the edge of the penalty area. It was Ollie Tanner who was trying to work a shot. Mate did go down, I think, thinking he was fouled at the edge of the penalty area. But our referee, Tony Harrington, not too interested. And it's Cardiff who have possession inside their own half. And they'll go all the way back to Ethan Horvath away to our left-hand side, making his 14th Championship appearance of the season.
Yeah, I think it's important that they certainly play on the fact that Sheffield United must have lost a bit of confidence with those 3 defeats, and with Burnley winning as well, maybe just that flatness at the start of the game. Can they pounce on that? Can they be really brave in the way that they press Sheffield United? And if they get that goal, it'll really hurt the players and the supporters here.
Chris Wilder made his usual 2-mile run. Tells me it's all downhill to Bramall Lane today, pre-match. Interesting match notes as well in the programme about how actually the regrouping began on the pitch when they had a little meeting down at Plymouth last week before all of the incidents that took place in and around the tunnel area, which they've both sides have been charged for by the FA. Not the first time this season Sheffield United have been charged with failing to control their players, but he said they've gone back to basics in training this week. He didn't want to go into too much detail, but I guess one of the things is that Hamza Chowdhury is playing it right back today as part of that.
Doesn't need to, and it's basic. It's just, I think what he means is not trying to be something they're not. You know, trying to get back to why they were so successful throughout most of the season, not trying to let the mental side of the game get involved in their performances.
Well, they could still end up, were they to win their remaining games, they could finish with 95 points and still only be third. And if you think Leeds finished third last season with 90 points, which was the joint most without automatic promotion since the early 80s, so there's still so much to be gained. They have, of course, won more games in the Championship than all the other sides, 26 at the time of kick-off for them today, heading into this weekend. But those 2 points that were deducted, of course, play their part too, and they find themselves 8 behind Burnley as we play out the opening minutes here at Bramall Lane. We've had 3 so far. Counter on down the right-hand side. Tyrese Campbell on the charge here inside the penalty area. He's got a tight angle, and across to the defending will come Will Fish, who's blocked him off at the edge of the 6-yard box. But the turn of pace from Tyrese Campbell, no one could really keep with him.
No, it was electric, wasn't it? Against Chambers, not something that Chambers would want to see so early, that he's beaten for pace. It's just a poor touch at the end. It's just a heavy touch that allows Fish to come across and just cut that angle out towards goal. I think if he takes a better touch there, Tyrese Campbell, he's then able to get the shot away. Just needed more concentration on that final touch.
38th start of the season for Callum Chambers. 29 was the most he managed back in his Arsenal days, and the majority of those this season have been in midfield, but he's in the back line today for Cardiff City with that injury to Perry Ng. 4 minutes played. You listen to EFL Game Day Live on Talksport. Sheffield United 0, Cardiff City 0. Busy afternoon, of course, in the EFL today. Earlier in the Championship, of course, Burnley beat Watford, if you've just joined us, by 2-1, and they go top, 3 clear of Leeds and 8 clear of Sheffield United. Wins for the playoff chasers, Bristol City, Coventry and Middlesbrough this afternoon as well. And down near the bottom, Luton beat Derby live on Talksport 2. Other big winners at the bottom today, Portsmouth and Stoke as well. So things could go Cardiff's way if they could get something out of this game, and they've got themselves a free kick right now in the centre circle, taken quickly to Andy Renamoto on this near side, who's missed 2 of the last 4 games. One following the tragic passing of his brother, who was a Thai kickboxer, and the other due to a back injury, but he's back in today and featuring at right back for Cardiff City. Raking ball forward on this right-hand side, trying to find the head of Ollie Tanner, and Mayte will break away inside the penalty area. Mayte right-hand side, he's got 2 round him, and it's really good defensive work done that time, and a little kick of frustration, I think, from Rob Holding, having got himself into a bit of a pickle. He retrieved the situation.
Yeah, he was frustrated with himself because he'd gone to have a little nibble of the ball in front of Mayte and missed it, and then just got rolled by the centre forward, who then got himself away. But really good recovery actually from Rob Holding. He sensed which way Mayte was going to go and just cut him off inside the penalty area.
Tanner has got a long throw, launches it into that 6-yard area. It's bounced once before Hamza Chowdhury at the back post gets his head on it, and then it's cleared away by Tyrese Campbell, who spins in frustration. He's not got too much distance. There'll be a throw on that far side, but already seeing the potency that Cardiff could have from set pieces here.
Yeah, they could do with that long throw of Tanner. And Tanner just interestingly turned straight towards the bench as if to say, well, that's what we worked on. How come there's nobody there and it's bounced twice in the penalty area?
Ahmed Hodzic comes out and wins that first header. Here's Sidney Peck in the middle of the park for Sheffield United. Infield to Vinny Souza, who went off against Plymouth. 37 seconds later, Plymouth equalised last weekend. It was a bit of cramp for Vinny Souza as he was being eased back in. It was his first start after a 6-game kind of absence from being in that starting 11. So crucial as well in this Championship version of Sheffield United. Struggled a little bit in the Premier League with the physicality, but he's been excellent in the Championship when available.
Yeah, he has. I mean, that's obviously slight switch, isn't it, as well for Cardiff, who can be a back 3 at times, but Chambers going back in there when he's played in midfield. And we've already seen Tyrese Campbell just knows he's got the pace on him, so don't be surprised if we see Tyrese Campbell just drift across on towards Chambers.
Of course, Rhian Brewster sitting in that number 10 role today, wearing the number 7 shirt. The combination between him and Campbell was quite devastating at times against Coventry. Here's Hamza Chowdhury getting down the right-hand side after good work by Raksaki, but his cross is half blocked. It's picked up again by Raksaki, the goal scorer last weekend against Plymouth, about 7 or 8 yards outside the Cardiff penalty area. And that ball is played forward into no man's land for Cardiff from in the middle by Alex Robertson. And it's away to our right-hand side, and Sheffield United and Michael Cooper will have possession. No coincidence, is it, that the clean sheets have almost dried up a little bit at Sheffield United? They were so good the early part of the season. Only kept, I think, 5 in about the last 22. Whereas the early doors, it was a tremendous number, about 15. I think they kept in that opening 20 games this season. Desire is for good football from the Sheffield United faithful, but I think like most supporters, they want winning football. Here's Chowdhury again, bulldozering forward down that right-hand side, but the ricochets don't fall kindly for him, and it spins out of play for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. You've had 8 minutes of Sheffield United 0, Cardiff 0. This is EFL Game Day Live on Talksport, and here's Dean Ashton.
Yeah, I mean, there are times when Sheffield United can get a little bit caught in midfield with Vinny de Souza and Peck, especially when Peck goes and presses. Vinny de Souza's on his own in that big gap in midfield. Obviously Robinson missing with a slight injury, so Rob Holding given an opportunity. It's not like he's not a good enough player and got experience certainly at this level now, and you just wonder whether that might be a slight change that could benefit Sheffield United just going into the last few games. And all they'll be thinking is, look, can we get 3 points today, knowing you've then got Burnley on Monday, knowing you've just got to go and win that game and put the pressure on Burnley for the last few games.
Well, the Robinson's one is an interesting one, isn't it? Do you feel that if he has got this slight hamstring issue but he's still on the bench, that means he kind of is saving him for Monday?
Possibly, but I don't think at this stage of the season you can necessarily save players. I think, and the fact that he's on the bench as well, when you've got a hamstring injury, if that's what it is, it's very difficult just to be able to protect it.
Here's Ahmed Hodzic, who's been his partner in those central areas of the defence for most of the season. 100th league appearance today for Ahmed Hodzic, and now down the left-hand side here's Harrison Burrows, who somehow has got a cross away. We had 2 blue shirts around him, but he did brilliantly to drill the ball into the box, but it's well defended this time, and out for a throw on this near side once more for Sheffield United, level with the penalty spot, taken short. Back to Holding, who's been in every matchday squad since he joined on loan from Crystal Palace, where he's yet to make an appearance for his new home club, following his move away from, of course, Arsenal and Bolton. He's been in his time 7 years at Arsenal in total for Rob Holding. And they have the ball again inside their own penalty area here, Cardiff, trying to work it down that left-hand touchline over halfway. Hamza Chowdhury does well, nips in and wins the first ball very quickly, and it's out of play for what will be a throw to Cardiff on that far side, much to the annoyance of Sidney Peck.
Well, you wouldn't say it's been a real intense start, has it, from Sheffield United being the home side? It's felt like they've started with a tiny hangover from that result that Burnley had, and Cardiff feel quite comfortable at the moment.
They do. Not much coming from Sheffield United in the forward areas. They've got the ball again inside their own box. Burrows out to Harmer on this near side. His flick to keep the ball in just falls quite nicely for Alex Robertson. Robertson will go wide to the right hand side. It's Tanner of Cardiff lifting a ball into the penalty area, just over the top of everyone again. Chowdhury was closest to it on that far side. The ball will be picked up by Will Alves, then swung back in on the left boot towards Mate, who goes up to win the header, and he does offer that aerial threat time and time again. Yaku Mate, this one's quite comfortable for Cooper to collect.
Yeah, it was a sort of loopy cross, wasn't it, from O'Dowda? Difficult to really gain the power, especially when you're fighting with a centre back. He gets up early with his elbow on the shoulder of Rob Holding, which just gives him the height advantage to get the header in. No real control, just kind of bounces up and off his slick head.
Chowdhury on that right hand side for Sheffield United, 7 or 8 yards inside the Cardiff half, gets it forward to Raksaki, who's dispossessed, and in the middle of the park the ball is gathered quite nicely that time by Yusuf Salati, but it's again worked back towards the Cardiff penalty area. Chambers has it, finds Robertson, who's 10 yards outside his own box. Now he finds a little bit of space on this right-hand side. Opportunity to get forward for Rinomhota, who's fouled, and it will be a free kick again for Cardiff. Very bitty in the early 12 minutes that we've played so far. And at this moment in time down this right-hand side, there's a ball being chased hard after Tanner tries to put Rinomhota in again, but he's away, and it will be a goal kick for Sheffield United. If you are leaving a game that you've been to this afternoon across the EFL, don't forget you can WhatsApp us, you can send us your voice notes, you can even call if you want. Adi Aladipo will be here at half-time and full-time to when we get into ahead of our later game between Oxford and Leeds. So we want some of your reaction to the games you've been to this afternoon. What have you made of your side's performance? 03717 223344. Of course, that's the number for everything. Phone calls, WhatsApps, and your voice notes as well. And we'll get through some of those at half-time and full-time once we've finished here at Bramall Lane. Long way to go, though. 13 minutes of the first half have been played. EFL Game Day Live on Talksport. Throw on the far side for Cardiff City, who are seeing an awful lot of ball in the opening exchanges of this game. Here's Mayte, takes it down nicely on his chest, tries the shot from probably about 10 yards outside the box. He's claimed a deflection. Michael Cooper's trying to keep the ball in, but Tony Harrington, the referee, not buying any of it, and he gives the goal kick away to our right-hand side.
But surely, I mean, Cooper's given it away, hasn't he? As he's chased down towards the ball, because he probably heard that there was a touch from Mayte's shot, which was ludicrously ambitious from where he was with defenders in front of him.
I thought you may have given it a little bit more being part of the Strikers Union, but it was a fairly hopeful effort.
I'd feel the same about myself if I did it and the execution was as poor. You'd then have to call yourself ludicrous.
Yeah, not the best at all. Sheffield United have possession 10 yards outside their own penalty area, and it's with Holding and Ahmed Hodzic on that far side, and back to Holding again, who's midway inside his own half, unchallenged by any of the Cardiff players in blue shirts, and then the run is made down the right hand side by Brewster. Ball over the top from Ahmed Hodzic, and Brewster's not going to get there. It's been raining here since probably about 2:30. Nothing too heavy, but certainly skipped off that lush wet surface and behind for a goal kick away to our left hand side to Cardiff. And I think Omar Iza in kind of 15 minutes here. Again, if you take these games in chunks, he'll probably be quite happy.
He'll be really pleased, yeah. I mean, there's not been a lot from Sheffield United. They're pretty flat. And Cardiff have had their moments without creating anything as yet. And they're still a little bit tentative in terms of the amount of attacking players they're looking to throw towards Yacoub Mayte.
Would the dressing room have been trying to steer clear of the Burnley result before, or do you think they'll all have been aware what was going on this afternoon?
Oh, it's impossible. There'll be maybe the manager or even some of the coaches. Don't no one say anything. Yeah, good luck with that. Someone's saying something. Someone's looking and checking. You almost can't help yourself. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think you'd want to know what was ahead of you.
Well, a victory is critical for them this afternoon, of course. They do face Burnley at Turf Moor here on Talksport on Monday afternoon, Easter Monday. That game again getting underway at 5:30. We'll have it for you live and exclusive to National Radio. I mean, the stats are quite damning. Leeds are unbeaten in the last 6 games and have lost only one of the last 24. Burnley today, with that win over Watford, now unbeaten in 30. Whereas here we are at Sheffield United, who've lost the last 3. And that momentum really is with the other 2. And the stats bear it up. Since the championship was rebranded, that was back in 2004-2005, no team has ever been 5 points clear of third with 4 games to play and failed to get automatic promotion. So very much the box seats for Leeds and Burnley. But Sheffield United have to keep going. Peck into Harmer. Harmer clips the ball through. A good run inside the penalty area by Tyrese Campbell, but the ball not quite flipping to him. In fact, it may have been Brewster who was getting on the end of that one, and it's gathered quite comfortably by Ethan Horvath away to our left-hand side, and the American international certainly taking his time before he clears this ball for Cardiff City.
Yeah, super position that Harmer picks up. Just drifts in from the left-hand side away from Rinomhota into a nice bit of space just to receive it on the back foot, and he's then looking for movement. Nice sharp run from Brewster, from the right-hand side in towards centrally. He's got the quality just to chip that in. It was just overhit because of the wet surface.
Sosa gives that ball away. Cardiff on the chance to attack at the edge of the penalty area. Alves with the initial effort, and there's another foul on this side of the field. Harmer, but the referee says play on with the advantage because Fisher's come forward. And left-footed ball from Tanner is popped into the edge of the Sheffield United penalty area. Only half cleared. Still there in the box. First driven shot comes to Meite, who tries to get it away. Second time with Meite, maybe. And it's scrambled defending at the edge of the 6-yard box. The offside flag goes up in the end. The Sheffield United players furious with referee Tony Harrington. But I think they've got away with one there because the defending was appalling.
They just could not clear it whatsoever. Kept ricocheting in towards the path of a Cardiff City player, and they then couldn't get their strike away. Meite had a swipe at it, didn't connect very well at all. I think it was Salesh as well. He had a go too, didn't really connect properly. That was closed down. It's those little moments. Can you just show a bit of quality in and amongst the chaos of the penalty area?
This EFL Game Day Live on Talksport. 18 minutes gone in the first half at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United 0, Cardiff City 0. Here come the home side on the attack towards Harmer, and the ball is cut out. It was Brewster's pass, and Cardiff will try and immediately look to counter down this right hand side. Tanner gets it forward towards Meite, but he was being well shepherded by Holding, and the radar was a little off from Tanner on that occasion, and it's safely gathered at the edge of the penalty area away to our right hand side. Sosa forward to halfway. Brewster just dropping into that hole. You felt the burden being almost lifted off his shoulders with the performance here, in particular against Coventry City, a man who's carried around that price tag from Liverpool for so long with, well, kind of so little effect really in the grand scheme of things. 8 goals in his 102 league appearances, but we've just seen signs in the last couple of months that maybe Brewster is just beginning to find his way again. Ahmed Hodzic has this midway inside the Sheffield United half. Short to Holding. Holding will go to the right hand side, and Vinny Sousa's there. And Sousa's coming infield, just drops it short to Peck. Peck helps it on to Harmer. Lovely bit of football. Campbell inside the penalty area. He's got a tight angle on this left hand side. He's going to have to try and chip it to the back post, and he does, and it lands on the net of the Cardiff City goal away to our left hand side. The build up play was good. Final pass just a little out of the way. Yeah,
build-up play was sharp, wasn't it? Again in towards Harmer. His little flick round the corner towards Brewster, who's then trying to play in Campbell. It was just overhit, and that's the issue. When the rain has fallen and it is zippy, you really have to be perfect. If it's not, it just gets away from your teammate. So every little touch and pass has to be absolutely perfect for those quick movements in and around the penalty area to work.
Chris Wilder yet to leave the technical area down below, and he's been in good spirits this week despite the situation. I think he's trying to calm the fans a little by pointing out where the club's come with a rebuild that's taken place, and actually to be where they are is a pretty decent achievement. Right now they're at the edge of the penalty area looking for a bit of confusion potentially between O'Dowda and Ethan Horvath. Well, there's the confusion from Horvath because he's bowled the ball straight out to Chowdhury. Here is Chowdhury to the right, has support, and he's just trying to work out the best option as Tyrese Campbell looks to spin and move, but again he's dispossessed at the edge of the penalty area, and Cardiff will bring it clear down that left hand side. But again the pass is poor, and Ahmed Hodzic will nip in on halfway and pick it up for Sheffield United, and now he'll go marauding forward down that right hand side, and it's a good sliding challenge in the end from O'Dowda that puts the ball out of play for a throw on the far side to Sheffield United. But it is really quite scrappy and poor at times, isn't it?
It's lacking quality at the moment, that's for sure, from both sides. And it was really good defending, I've got to say, from O'Dowda on that left hand side. He just made sure that he tracked the run from Raksaki because it was just played in early towards the winger, but he made sure he was goal side, did his defensive work. Could easily have just switched off in those moments. You can't.
No side really stamping themselves on this game, and any authority is still to be gained. It's Sheffield United with possession. Harmer pings the ball out to the far touchline. Chowdhury's there, and he will inside a throw on that far touchline. O'Dowda closing him down quickly. Souza looks to cut infield. The Brazilian on the move. Looks for support. Comes from Holding to this left-hand side. Everyone hemmed in around the Cardiff City penalty area away to our left-hand side. Here's Burrows. Wasn't the best of first touches from Burrows, but he feeds Holding again, who goes back to Souza. And Ahmed Hodzic wants it. Chowdhury is wide on that right-hand side, and that's the first options he goes for. Raksaki has tucked himself in to give Chowdhury some room to play, but in the end Sheffield United are going to go back, and there's a bit of discord from the home supporters around us as they get back inside their own half. There's a pull on the shirt of Holding. Harmer has it, but he's forced back towards his own goal, and Tony Harrington decides there was no advantage and decides to give the free kick to Sheffield United.
Yeah, well, it's a big part of the reason why they've lost their last 3 games is being a little bit slow in the build-up and allowing teams to just set themselves defensively and then running out of ideas because every player wants to come short. You need, when teams are sat deep, you need multiple runners, little darting runs, as if you're going to go in behind to try and open up the space. You know, it takes a lot of work sometimes to create those openings, and that work is by just making runs, sometimes unselfishly.
Chowdhury on that far side, level with the edge of the penalty area, short to Raksaki. Infield it goes again. Souza, square to Harmer, 30 yards out from goal. We know he can hit them from there, but on this occasion he goes for the pass, and it's kind of half tapped off by Rinomota, and it gives an opportunity for Sheffield United to build once more from halfway. We're beyond the midway point of the first half. EFL Game Day Live on Talksport. It remains Sheffield United 0, Cardiff City 0. Well, as things stand in the as it is table, that means 7 points is the gap currently between Burnley at the top and Sheffield United in third. Ball had a play on this near side as Cooper tried to find Burrows. His header, though, he was out the field of play, and it will be a throw to Cardiff City down this left-hand side. Huge weekend of football, of course, lots to be decided around the EFL. Liverpool could potentially become champions at Leicester on Sunday, depending how Arsenal get on against Ipswich. We'll have all that for you on the Sunday session, of course, from 1:30 on Sunday afternoon. Ahead of that tomorrow, Arsenal against Lyon, the Women's Champions League semi-final first leg. That's live on Talksport 2 from 12:30. And then Game Day Live with Adrian Durham tomorrow, taking you around the grounds in the Premier League. First yellow card of the game here for a foul by Will Fish on this near side. He's gone into the referee's notebook, and it was after a bit of shirt pulling, I think, and shoving with Tyrese Campbell. Looks a bit of 6 of one and half a dozen of the other in part, but
I mean, yeah, I don't really understand it. I think Ariza's trying to make that point to the fourth official, Will Finney, that how can you give a yellow card when both players have a massive chunk of each other's shirts?
I did bump into referee Tony Harrington round the corner in a garage about 2:10 today. He was getting his pre-match coffee, which he says is part of his routine and ritual. He, like me, arrived a bit early and had some time to kill. Maybe trying to work out what on earth he was going to give yellow cards for, and if that's one of the reasons, well, dear oh dear. And now the conversation is continuing with that Cardiff back line, while Sheffield United line up the free kick out on this left-hand side, yard in from the touchline. Burrows, delicious delivery with that left foot, but no one to get on the end of it, and the counter's on here, maybe for Cardiff. There's only 2 blue shirts forward, though. That could be the problem. That's going to slow them down as the ball's played out wide to this right-hand side by Alves. Alves again, edge of the penalty area on this near side, level with the penalty spot as he swings the ball in, and it's gathered quite comfortably by Michael Cooper, all in orange for Sheffield United. And then immediately there's the encouragement to try and go forward quickly, which Brewster does to Raksaki. Oh, brilliant bit of skill from Raksaki. Chops that one away from the defender. Now he's on the charge towards the edge of the penalty area. Jessamine Raksaki, a couple of step overs and then loses his way, and in the end he stood his ground inside the penalty area, Callum Chambers, and the ball's gathered by Ethan Horvath, and it will be Cardiff who will have a chance to clear that line.
Oh, what a shame, because the first part was magical from Raksaki. Lovely little Cruyff flick in between the legs of O'Dowd to get himself away, and then he just did himself with the step over in the end. Went for the double step over and just clipped the ball with the outside of his foot and fell over the ball. It was a real chance, that, to go and take the defender on and get your shot away, and he made a mess of it.
He was the goal scorer, of course, last week against Plymouth. Lovely finish had kind of 2 or 3 other opportunities in similar positions that might have put that game to bed. And actually those defeats against Oxford and Plymouth really quite strange. Away from home, over 70% possession in each of those games for Sheffield United. Lost one, of course, 1-0 at Oxford, and lost 2-1 against Plymouth. So, as they say, possession's all well and good if you do something with it. Alves for Cardiff, edge of the box, tries to bend one from the edge of the penalty area, but was always sailing high and wide of Michael Cooper's goal away to our right-hand side.
Yeah, there's a couple of good bits of play, though, from Alves. First, the counter-attack where he didn't have support there, where he's just manipulated the ball nicely on the left-hand side to cut in onto that right foot and thinking, yeah, I'm just going to curl this into that far corner. Problem is, his foot was like a shovel under a balloon, and it just went so high over the bar.
Alves made one Premier League appearance at Leicester before moving on loan. His first loan to Sheffield United, that was against Manchester City as well. Maybe he'll play a part next season, particularly if Leicester are going to be in the Championship. I know they probably will be. I'm just saying going to be, because who knows? Football's a funny game. Here's Souza. He's going to hit one from 25 yards, well, maybe nearer 30 yards, which he does, and never troubling Horvath away to our left-hand side in the Cardiff City goal.
I don't mind that at times, especially when it opens up, and if a team are going to sit deep, you've got to sometimes back yourself to strike it well from distance. It was just that Salech did really well to pounce on what was a slightly heavy touch from Vinny Souza and just put him under pressure, and he rushed it, and because of that he couldn't keep it down.
Only goal for Sheffield United came against Luton in February. Cleared away, right-footed by Horvath, trying to get Cardiff City into the game. A bit better from Sheffield United in the last few minutes as we approach the half-hour mark here on Talksport. It remains 0-0. On this left-hand side, it's Tanner trying to play the ball forward. And now it's going to be cleared from this near side by Holding. Doesn't get much distance on it though, and a chance for Tanner maybe to launch one of those throws into the Sheffield United penalty area. He's already tried it a couple of times. It's been effective for Cardiff City at various points this season. Tanner is ready. There's 3 lurking in and around the 6-yard area for Cardiff, and 4 more at the edge of the box. So there's going to be some movement coming as Tanner gets that in towards Mate. It's flicked up in the air. Cooper will gather under a little bit of pressure from Wilfish, but nothing major, and immediately he looks to set Raksaki away on that right hand side, and it's going to be checked all the way, you feel, by Chambers. Oh, he's done brilliantly. Raksaki tried to get inside him, but Chambers uses all his experience just to step across and win the ball back for the visitors, and they'll try and break away again from the middle of the park with Alex Robertson.
Yes, a couple of times now they've looked for that really early ball from the goalkeeper up towards one of their forward players, Sheffield United, trying to catch Cardiff out. And Tanner with the long throw once again. I mean, he must have some power in the throw, because he took a bit off that and it still went right into the penalty area for Mate to flick on. He just got too much on it. That just needs to be a lovely little glance and then someone anticipating.
Brilliant from Harmer. Here's Brewster through the middle. To the left of him is Tyrese Campbell. That pass was poor. Easily intercepted that time by Rinamoto on this near side. And it's all the way back with Cooper away to our right-hand side. Frustrations growing around us with these Sheffield United supporters. Lots of sighs and groans every time they give the ball away. Not really, I think, what Chris Wilder was after. Of course, there were words spoken after the Millwall game where he was a little bit critical, and the Oxford game as well, where some of the away support weren't, well, as supportive as you would like, it would seem. And he's not one who's frightened to call him out when that happens. Back on halfway with Holding for Sheffield United. Inside the centre circle alongside him is Souza. He goes for a direct ball through the middle. Flicked on its way by Campbell, looking to try and find Harmer. Sidney Peck will pick up the pieces, and he finds Brewster. Right hand edge of the box, off the angle of the area. Lovely ball into Raksaki, but it just bounces off of him and away for Cardiff City, and Raksaki then with a little trip, and it will be a free kick for Cardiff just outside their own box.
Yeah, it's feeling a bit painful at times, isn't it? The way Sheffield United are trying to break down Cardiff, that flashed ball in towards somebody in the centre and then a flick round the corner. Hasn't really worked as yet for Sheffield United, and Rob Holding at one point there just had the ball at his feet, laid it off, and then almost looked to the forward line to sort of say, anyone want to spin, anyone want to make some moves? And that's, you have to, it's no good just staring and thinking, well, someone else has got to make the move. You've got to do it as a collective forward line. Can we, one player make a move for the other one to then get into the space?
A frustrating opening 32 minutes here on Talksport for Sheffield United and their supporters, and they're showing it. If you've had a frustrating afternoon watching your side and you want to vent, you can do right now. You can get on the WhatsApp, you can send us a WhatsApp, you can send us a voice note, or you can even call 03717 223344. And Adeola Depot will be taking some of your reaction at half-time in this game and at full-time before we get into our later kick-off tonight at 8 o'clock. That's when Leeds are in action down at Oxford as well. So if you want to get your messages in, you can do it right now. Harmer does brilliantly. Tyrese Campbell with a shot. Oh, that's superb from Harmer. What a response. Gustavo Harmer. Instinct takes over and Sheffield United have the lead. It was Tyrese Campbell's shot that deflected. Harmer had continued his run after the layoff and he's poked it in beyond Horvath. Nobody went with him. We scored spectacular goals from 20 yards. That one is just as special and maybe just as important from 3 yards out. Sheffield United 1, Cardiff City 0.
Well, he makes it, he creates it, and he finishes it. Gustavo Harmer. It comes into him once again in that great position centrally. He plays to Brewster, he gets it back. He plays to Tyrese Campbell. He should get it back, but the striker, as usual, is pretty greedy and wants to get his shot away, but the deflected shot fell kindly for Harmer, who was anticipating, carried on his run, and then just as it fell out of the sky, he just quickly nipped it with the outside of his right foot underneath Horvath, through his legs and into the back of the net. It was all made by him, Gustavo Harmer.
It's a delicious little finish that, isn't it? With the outside of the right foot. Very clever. And Tony Harrington is got his finger to his ear. I know he's a Premier League referee, but someone told him there's no VAR. We're not checking goals here. Cardiff is certainly remonstrating about something. I think Rhian Brewster was in an offside position. It certainly wasn't Gustavo Harmer as that ball was played through. But terrific instincts and reactions from Harmer as he bags his 9th championship goal of the season. Scored that terrific free kick here against Coventry. Absolute worldie. But that could be so much more important in the grand scheme of things for Sheffield United.
Well, I mean, he gets a bit of luck because of the way the shot from Tyrese Campbell's falls towards him, but he'd made all of that because of the work that he'd done previously. Lovely couple of bits of interplay to get into that position.
It's the fact he continued that run. So many times you see players, they do their little trickery and they stand still, but
yeah,
he carried on that run into the box just in case, and it paid dividends. He's on the ball again now, onto Peck. Peck just tries to slip a ball through to Raksaki, but it's intercepted, and Holding's taking care of Mate with a little help from Ahmed Hodzic, and it's back with Cooper away to our right hand side, and there's a real air of relief around Bramall Lane after that ball hit the back of the net.
Yeah, because now as well you know that Cardiff will at some point have to come out and be braver, open up a bit more space, hopefully for you to attack. And also just the players, it's that relief. There isn't the tension now in your play. Not that Harmer had any anyway. He's that type of player, I think, that doesn't feel that and just wants to get on the ball and try and be dynamic and creative.
31st time this season that Sheffield United have taken the lead in 43 championship games. They've only lost 2 of them, Leeds and Plymouth those. But as we know, and as Chris Wilder has said in his notes today in the programme, 1-0 is not a scoreline that he ever feels comfortable with, and then when they dominate sides they should get that second goal to win games. There's a foul there, 25 yards out from the edge of the penalty area, and again a nice little bit of build-up play involving Tyrese Campbell and Rhian Brewster. They had actually ended up losing possession, but in that process Brewster was taken down, and a free kick in a central area here for Sheffield United. And well, Gustavo Harmer looks like he may well be polishing his boot, ready to go.
Yeah, I think so. I think just taking any loose bits of mud off the bottom of his boot just to make sure that nothing's going to stand in the way of planting the foot for this free kick. Chambers just trying to win the ball, stepping out with Brewster, but mistiming it.
Well, it's all well and good Brewster standing there next to him, but I think it wasn't even a conversation. Gustavo Harmer. I mean, Harrison Burrows has gone there because he does offer an option with a left foot. It is just to right of centre, you would say. Probably about maybe 28 yards out from goal, potentially. 25. Harmer, right footed. Oh, he's hit the outside of the post. This one was low and it dipped over the wall. Horvath was stranded and it's cannoned off the outside of the left upright and gone behind for a goal kick.
I mean, it's what they work on. Free kick takers work on this religiously to just shave the whiskers of the players in the wall, just to miss and whip it and dip it as it goes past. It was brilliant from Harmer. It's so close, whacking the outside of the post.
I think he got the dip, he didn't get the whip that time round, did he?
Yeah, not enough whippage.
And that Coventry one, he sent that one in from way outside the post. He's got that in his locker, and to be fair, he's single-handedly trying to drag Sheffield United through this game right now, and he's doing it excellently because they lead by 1-0. You're listening to EFL Game Day Live on Talksport. Sheffield United 1, Cardiff City 0. We've got 6.5 minutes to go to half-time, and it's a throw down this left-hand side for Sheffield United. Burrows has it just short of halfway, gets it back from Harmer and just cannons it straight into the head of Saleh. And now a chance maybe for Peck in the centre circle. Excellent. He's got away from Robertson there. Peck gets it forward to the edge of the penalty area again. The ricochets don't fall kindly for Ryan Brewster, who loses possession. And on that far side, just keeping hold of the ball, Will Alves is chased down all the time by Chowdhury. Chowdhury takes the throw quickly. Here's Raksaki by the corner flag, and it's going to be a goal kick for Cardiff City away to our left-hand side. A little shove there from Raksaki on the back of O'Dowda, and a few getting involved. Tempers starting to fray a little here. O'Dowda and Raksaki will be called over by Tony Harrington. You're listening to Sheffield United against Cardiff in EFL Game Day Live on Talksport with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the app and get rewards points. 18 plus. Participating restaurants, delivery fees and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com. A reminder, early this afternoon in the Championship, Burnley beat Watford 2-1 and go top of the table. 3 points clear of Leeds, and they were 8 clear of Sheffield United. Of course, if it stays as it is here, it will be 5 clear of Sheffield United. Wins also for the playoffs, or in the playoffs for Bristol City and Coventry, who take 5th and 6th spot at the moment. Middlesbrough behind them, but 3 points adrift of Coventry. And then down at the bottom, Luton beat Derby live on Talksport 2 at lunchtime today. Portsmouth and Stoke, big winners. So there is an opportunity for Cardiff, who currently sit second bottom, just a point behind Luton, a point behind Derby. They have a better goal difference than Luton, but not Derby. So they desperately need to try and get something out of this game with 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Sheffield United 1, Cardiff 0. They're working it down this right-hand side with Mato, who gets the ball forward. And it's picked up in the middle of the park that time by Robertson. Helps on its way. Alves, edge of the penalty area. Brilliant challenge. Superb challenge from Hamza Chowdhury. Will Alves was inside the box, was about to unleash a right-footed shot, and Chowdhury just took the ball off his toes from behind quite superbly.
Yeah, stunning tackle. Needed to be perfect as well in the penalty area. But Will Alves, you're just not quick enough. You have to be so sharp in those situations. The urgency you need when you go through like he did there, that needed to be out of his feet, thinking, how am I going to strike it? It wasn't. It was, I'm going to take a touch, compose myself. It's too late. The time's gone at this level. And Chowdhury was there waiting just to stick out a leg and make a brilliant challenge, but just wasn't quick enough from Alves.
Harmer clips that ball with the outside of his boot to Tyrese Campbell down this left-hand side. He's a couple of yards in from the touchline towards the edge of the penalty area. It's back with Harmer again. And then Sousa, helped on its way by Harmer once more into Burrows. Burrows back to Tyrese Campbell, and they work it down this left-hand side. Again, Burrows is there. Harmer's waiting for it. A little short pass from Campbell. Goes square to Holding. Holding right-footed ball. Oh, brilliant ball. Finds Raksaki. Far edge of the box. On his left foot. Trying to cut onto his right. Comes to Chowdhury. Edge of the penalty area. Tries the shot. Easily blocked that time by Mansberg inside the penalty area, and now the counter's on. Alves once more, and Chowdhury's after him for a second time. This time Alves keeps the ball, steps away from Chowdhury. Now towards the penalty area. Meite's made the run, offside flag is up. Cooper makes the save anyway, but neither of them knew that. But the flag from the assistant on this near side means it'll be a free kick for Sheffield United, who lead 1-0.
Yeah, well, I'd like to think Meite knew he was offside because he made a run behind all the defence. Didn't really make sense, the run that Meite made. Alves found him, but really he's got to arc that run the opposite way. He's arced it on around the back of the defence rather than in front and then through.
The most used sub this year, 22 times he's come off the bench, only his 11th start, but he has got 2 in his last 5 appearances for Meite, and in the absence of Callum Robinson today, former Sheffield United man of course, he only scored 2 in his 19 games in all competitions here, but he's the leading scorer for Cardiff. Crucial goals as well, he scores 12 in total this campaign, but he's missing today for Cardiff City, who trail here by a 1-0. 2 minutes to go to half time. EFL Game Day Live on Talksport, coming to you from Bramall Lane. A reminder coming up later from 8 o'clock, exclusive Championship football, Oxford United against Leeds United. That's at 8 o'clock this evening here on Talksport. Corner here, Harrison Burrows has won it for Sheffield United down this left hand side. A challenge crunching in from Fish on that occasion. He's already been booked, of course, and it will be Harmer who takes it down this left hand side. There's about 1,000 Coventry City supporters who've made the journey up to Bramall Lane. Harmer is going to take this corner right in front of them. There's 4 or 5 flags that have been hung in the lower tier of the stand by those Cardiff City supporters. I think we're going to see some treatment first here, and there is going to be a moment while Raksaki does get some treatment at the edge of the D.
Yeah, just is he holding the back of his hamstring there? I think he might be, as if he's felt something. Doesn't look particularly comfortable. And the type of player he is as well. Needs to be fully fit, the way he plays, the acceleration and the changing of direction.
Well, O'Hare and Brereton Diaz amongst the substitutes warming up down below. Gives me a chance to tell you about more of the live football coming up this weekend, of course. Tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock we've got our live and exclusive Premier League commentary. That's Brentford against Brighton. That's on Talksport 2 from 3 tomorrow afternoon. Remember, that's a game that's not on UK TV, so we'll have that for you from 3 o'clock tomorrow. On Sunday, the Sunday session from 1:30, as we mentioned, it could be the afternoon that Liverpool secure the Premier League. 5 o'clock on Talksport 2, it's Barcelona against Chelsea in the second of those Women's Champions League semi-final first legs. And then on Monday, wow, what a day of football we got for you. Underway at 12:30, Newport against Walsall from League 2. Walsall again only getting a point today, really struggling to find 3 points, and now they sit in 4th place in League 2, having been the leaders for so long. 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Talksport 2, it's Leeds against Stoke from the Championship, and then at 5:30 Burnley against Sheffield United from the Championship is right here on Talksport, and that's followed by our exclusive Premier League commentary on Monday night. That's Tottenham against Nottingham Forest. Here's the corner then. Raksaki's okay to continue. Harmer will deliver. We're into 2 minutes of added time. Harmer swings that one across, bounces down at the edge of the 6-yard area, and it's out as far as Peck. Now Burrows to the left-hand side. Harmer has it on his right foot. Flings a ball towards that back post. Ahmed Hodzic is still up there, but it's cleared away for Cardiff City. Holding then is going to commit the foul. Is he on Alves? Well, they all have a little go, I think. Vinny Souza had a go, and Holding too, and in the end the referee blows his whistle.
Yeah, it was. There was no way Alves was getting away, and he didn't really complain. I mean, it looked like a good counter-attacking opportunity, and he just shrugged it away. They've not really looked like a side, have they, Cardiff, that have come here to really be brave in the way that they're going to play and make sure they get lots of players forward and test this Sheffield United confidence.
No, I did wonder with the change of shape today from the 3 whether actually it might be a little bit more attacking. They might try to, potentially have a go at the, like you say, the fragile confidence of Sheffield United after those 3 straight defeats. But it does feel like a team that's set up to put the block in and and then try and get them on the counter, but with maybe not having the quality or pace that you need to do that.
No, and players in form as well, which would be helpful, but they've not really recovered well either since the goal. They've not really looked like having any control whatsoever since Harmer scored.
Throw in on this right-hand side for Cardiff City. We've had 2 minutes added at the end of the half. We're beyond that. Referee Tony Harrington just allowing a little more time for that injury to Raksaki just prior to the 2-minute board being shown. But he has enough at the end of the first half, and so far so good for Sheffield United. Not a vintage dominant performance, but eventually they settled the nerves of this Bramall Lane crowd and of their manager Chris Wilder, and that man Gustavo Harmer. He helped create the goal. He finished the goal from about 3 yards out with a lovely little deft touch with the outside of his right foot. Cardiff City look a little bit dangerous from set pieces, but nothing so far that Sheffield United have been unable to handle. And as things stand, the gap will be back to 5 points between Sheffield United and Burnley tonight. Half-time at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United 1, Cardiff City 0.
Adam Bridge spot on there. A very nervy Bramall Lane, at least for the first 25 minutes. After that, we feel like Sheffield United have taken this game just where they would like to take it, Dean. Gustavo Harmer, fantastic goal on the outside of his right foot. Tyrese Campbell probably should have given it back, but, you know, you take those. And then maybe should have added a second as well, hitting post on the 37th minute. He's been the main man for them. Rakzaki's been fantastic as well.
Yeah, and I think when you get these moments and these games in front of your home fans, when you can sense it, it almost feels awkward, doesn't it, to start with? You know, there were so many sort of fans with crossed arms in the stands, sort of waiting for something to happen, hoping their side would be attacking the way they want them to, and what's disappointed them in recent games. And then you need players, and certainly a player in Gustavo Harmer that isn't affected by that, just thinks, I don't care, give me the ball. I'm still going to play the way I know I can play. And you could see it didn't quite come off a couple of times, and then that one time that it does, because he's really, brave in his conviction in the way that he wants to attack. Lovely little combination. You're right, Tyrese Campbell should have played it. I probably wouldn't either. I'm thinking as a striker, I'm getting my shot away. But he carries on, gets the bit of luck, and it's a lovely finish.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic free kick just a few minutes later, and you almost feel like it's just him that's running the show, controlling the midfield, controlling the tempo of the game. But he has been helped by Rakzaki as well on that right-hand side. Loads of energy, bags of pace, just maybe one too many step-overs.
I know. He got himself into such a great position with that first bit of skill, and then just maybe overdid it with the step-overs when he would have really backed himself to take on the player and score. But you're right, those wide players have been the difference in the first half. It's still not been vintage. It's still not had the crowd on their feet too many times, but you've got at this stage, you've got to win the game. You have to go into that next game against Burnley on Monday knowing you've got 3 points, and you've got the chance then to take it right towards the last 2 games of the season. That's all you can do.
Yeah, as it stands right now, as you say, that they're in 3rd place, 5 points behind leaders Burnley, so that game is massive. 2 points behind Leeds. They've lost their last 3, Sheffield United. What does Chris Wilder say in the dressing room at half-time? Is it just keep it tight, more of the same, or go and get that second?
Go and get the second. Don't let them in. Don't let them off. They've not been particularly good, Cardiff. They've not shown too much of a threat, so there isn't that much really to be scared of if you're Sheffield United. And now, right, we've got that off our backs, the first goal. Let's now go and try and get the second and play with a bit more freedom that they weren't able to earlier on in the game. And should go on and win the game convincingly, and actually give the fans something to be hopeful about them for the next few games towards the end of the season, that your team has played well and scored a few goals.
Cardiff have been a bit flat, I think it's fair to say. Obviously, look, the manager Omar Rizza's not helped that by his words to the fans, calling them useless. It's been a bit of a clueless and useless performance from Cardiff so far. It's been really
scrappy in the way that they've played. They've had the odd moment where they've put a few good passes together. Tanner's been poor on the right. Alves has been the only one really that's shown any quality. Mate's kind of bouncing off him, and he's not able to look comfortable up there. They're lacking the quality, aren't they? They're lacking the belief and the quality, even though it's a great opportunity for them to get out the bottom 3. So it's just whether he maybe looks at the bench and sees a Willock or Colwill that can maybe come on and just help them in terms of that quality.
Final one, Dino. What do you make of those comments from the manager to the fans? I mean, look, you do often see sort of managers with a lot of energy kind of go back and forth with fans sometimes. Ange Postecoglou's done it recently. But what do you make of a manager that's clearly struggling and maybe not getting the response from the players, then almost use that to attack the fans?
I think it's. I think he's just let his guard down. Is what he's done. You know, even as players, when the fans can get on at you can say it behind closed doors. You don't come out and say it. Of course you don't. I just think it's so misguided. It's pure frustration, and ultimately he's then had to come out and apologise, and it's just left then a horrible feeling, hasn't it? Probably between the fans and the manager, which just doesn't help when you're coming into such a big game.
Yeah, Dino, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Enjoy your chicken pie and chips. I heard it's good up Bramall Lane.
I will.
Top man. Burnley, top of the table. 1 foot, I think it's fair to say, in the Premier League right now. They secured a 2-1 win away to 9-man Watford earlier today to move 3 points clear. Head of Leeds at the top of the Championship, who travel to Oxford tonight, 8 o'clock. We're going to bring you live and exclusive commentary on that one. After the game, our reporter Ollie Klink spoke to Burnley boss Scott Parker and asked him how difficult it is to keep focus with the end of the season so now close.
Yeah, that's always a challenge, really. You know, the biggest challenge is with a young group like we have, is keeping emotions very, very neutral and stable. Really, that'll be key today. That was key. So, yeah, look, we've had a laser focus this year, which is each game as it comes. Today was our biggest game of the season, like it was last week. We treat every game as our biggest game of the season. We've got another one now on Monday, which obviously is a huge game for us as well, and we'll go and prep and recover as best we can to prep for that.
You're going to keep in touch with the games this evening?
No, I've got no point really. We've done the job today. That's a box ticks. We'll quickly move on to Monday.
I don't believe him. Of course he's going to keep in touch with the games going on this evening. Burnley, incredible season, hasn't it? 14 goals conceded, which is obviously going to break the records. Just for reference, the second least goals conceded in the Championship, Leeds United with 29. That's how incredible Burnley's defence have been this season. All right, Luton Town secured a priceless 1-0 victory against Derby in their hopes for a Championship survival. They are now level on points with the Rams on 43 points, but stay behind them due to an inferior goal difference of 14. Talksport's Ian Danter spoke to Matt Bloomfield after the game and asked the Luton boss what is the overriding emotion he has after such an important win.
Pride, the performance. We knew that the first goal was going to be really important today, and for us it went in our favour. I thought first half we were absolutely excellent. Could have gone 2 and 3 ahead, limited Derby to very little. Obviously, you know, the game was never going to be plain sailing for us. We expected an onslaught second half, but to a man we stood up to the challenge incredibly well, and I'm extremely proud of the boys today.
Just finally, Matt, obviously the destiny's still not in your own hands quite yet, but 3 games to go. You are at least now level with Derby on points. How do you see it?
I see it that it's going to be very tight right up until the end. We've got to come out Monday fighting against Bristol City exactly like we did today. Nothing's done quite now. Of course, it's a lovely result for us and a great day to enjoy with our supporters. They're an incredible voice, but now we have to recover and get ready for Monday.
Yeah, one thing Matt Bloomfield has done is made them fight down the bottom. This is how tight it is down the bottom. Plymouth Argyle on 40 points. Cardiff City, obviously currently 1-0 down on 42. Luton Town 43. Derby 43. Hull City 45. And you almost feel like it's between that 5 now. Oxford United on 48. May have done just enough. All right, Coventry took a huge step to securing a playoff spot as they beat West Brom 2-0 at the CBS Arena earlier today, staying 3 points clear of Middlesbrough in 6th, but effectively ending West Brom's playoff hopes as they trail Cov by 6 points. Talksport's Dave Rose spoke to Frank Lampard and asked him how happy was he with all aspects of his side's performance.
Yeah, every department, first half, 11 against 11, were fantastic. We were brilliant in terms of our intensity, our organisation, all the things we spoke about, because they're a difficult team, West Brom, very difficult. And we were really strong in every department. Get our goal going at half-time and asking the lads to continue the good work, and they did.
3 games to go, you're 3 points clear of 7th. You've got 2 really awkward away matches against, yes, the bottom 2, but they are scrapping for everything. So how do you see it at the moment?
It's going to go to possibly the last game. So we can only control ourselves, control Plymouth, that's what's in front of us, recover well. It's going to be a really tough game, so will Luton be, so will Borough be here, obviously. So it's close, but if you'd have offered it to me a while ago, I'll be taking it all day, so we just have to keep going.
He's done well, hasn't he? He's done well, Frank Lampard, since coming to the club. Look, they're in a position now where you wouldn't want to play Coventry right now in the playoffs, and it looks like Frank Lampard could be marching his Coventry side till the playoffs. All right, keep your texts coming in. I'm going to read the best ones out. Text us 810 89. This text has come in. Me and my dad are West Brom fans. Awful performance. Season's over. Mowbray isn't the right guy at all. That one's come in from Dexter. Again, keep your texts coming in. 810 89. Look, it was a damaging defeat for the Baggies today, losing 2-0 away to Coventry City. We've obviously just heard from Frank Lampard. 6 points now is the gap between the two sides. Maybe Dexter's right. Maybe. With 3 games to go, though, it looks as though it's season over right now for Tony Mowbray's side. Look, thanks for all your messages. Keep them coming in. You can give us a call as well, 03717 223344. Use that same number to WhatsApp us, and you can text us 81089. We're going to take more of your calls and messages ahead of the Oxford versus Leeds game, which we're going to bring you following the conclusion of this game at Bramall Lane. All right, Sheffield United currently leading Cardiff by a goal to 0, but it's a massive 45 minutes coming up, which will affect both ends of the table, and it's going to be exclusively live right here, coming up next on Talksport.
EFL Live on Talksport with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the McDonald's app and get reward points too. 18 plus participating restaurants. Delivery fees and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com. Or with McDonald's. Enjoy a tasty night in delivered to your door with McDelivery. 18 plus participating restaurants. Delivery fees and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com.
Lotto's big Easter bank holiday jackpot isn't just any jackpot. It's big. Like big. Like big! Sorry. £15 million must be won this Saturday. Lotto from the National Lottery. Play on app. Account terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
With a Travis Perkins trade account, you open the door to big trade deals every single month. This month, we've gone big on landscaping. Right through April, get a 25-kilogram bag of Blue Circle General Purpose Cement for only £5.35 each. Join the club and get this and other big landscaping trade deals this April with your trade account. Travis Perkins, doing what matters for the trade. All prices exclude VAT at 20%. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, Harry. Hello, mate. Got any tips for the football? Your best bet is to head over to BetVictor. They're giving new customers a terrific welcome offer. If you bet a minimum of £10, they'll give you £30 in free bets.
Phew, that's a steal of a deal.
It's a good darn deal that'll make you squeal for real. Neil?
My name's not Neil.
I know, but it rhymes.
Listen to Harry and make your best bet on the football at BetVictor. 18 plus, opt in and bet on any football marketing at odds of evens or greater. No cash out, 7-day expiry. Terms and conditions apply. Gambleaware.org.
Have you bought a vehicle on finance between 2008 and 2020? Then you could be owed thousands in compensation. MyCarLoanClaims.co.uk can check to see if your dealer earned hidden commission. For more information on our no-win, no-fee service, text DRIVE to 60777. That's DRIVE to 60777. MyCarLoanClaims.co.uk is a trading style of Alorco, an SRA-regulated law firm.
Sport. It's in your DNA. And at SpreadX Sports, we want you to gamble responsibly. Set sportsbook deposit limits to help stay in control of your spending. Use our handy fixed odds timeout feature, which allows you to take a break when you need it. At SpreadX Sports, our safer gambling tools are designed to let you play within your limits and gamble responsibly. Visit spreadx.com/DNA. SpreadX Sports. It's in our DNA. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
This Easter at Lidl, we won't be beaten on price on our pick of the week veg. That's 2 kilograms of potatoes, a bag of parsnips, green beans or carrots, a swede, a bunch of spring onions, all from just 8p. Now that's big on quality, and always Lidl on price. Subject to availability. Selected stores. GB only. See lidl.co.uk/spend less for details.
Whether you're screaming from the stands or the sofa, Virgin Bet has even more for you to shout about this season, because we're giving you a totally free bet builder on a selected football match every week this season. So get ready to make some noise. Join us and claim your bet builder free bet every week. Virgin Bet, a good bet.
Use Bet Builder free bet on selected match by kickoff. Min odds evens. Maximum free bet £1 to £20. Except via pop-up. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. Bet responsibly. Gambleaware.org.
Tonight's Euro Millions jackpot is £44 million.
Now that calls for a dance.
Well, if you insist.
Hit it! Dip me
like you've never did before.
Get that Euro Millions feeling tonight. Euro Millions from the National Lottery. Play on app. Estimated jackpot. Account terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
It's an extreme overload of cracking Easter football on Talksport 2. What a goal tomorrow. Arsenal take on Lyon in the Women's Champions League from 12:30. It's a stunner. Followed by Brentford versus Brighton from 3 in the Premier League. Oh my word! It's an excitement-inducing Easter weekend of live football on Talksport 2.
Welcome back to EFL Game Day Live. We're at Bramall Lane. It's a big one as well. Sheffield United currently leading Cardiff City 1-0. Gustavo Harmer with a fantastic goal in the 33rd minute. Could have made it to hit the post on the 37th minute. Massive 45 minutes coming up for both teams. Cardiff City desperately need the points to stay in the league. Sheffield United definitely need the points to see if they can still push for an automatic promotion. Let's go back to the commentary team. First, Dean Ashton and then Adam Bridge.
Thank you very much. Start the second half, couple of changes for Cardiff City. Probably no great surprise given the performance in that opening 45 minutes. We're going to see the introduction of Kian Ashford, of course, who scored the FA Cup winner here when these sides met in the third round of the FA Cup earlier this season. And we're also going to see the introduction of Chris Willock, which I think you thought might well happen, Dean, given the lack of a attacking threat we've seen and quality.
Yeah, I think when you've got somebody like Willock on the bench, you've got to try and use him when you've watched that first 45 from your side. And Ashford coming on again, we might see a slight change in formation. We might see a three at the back. He may well go as a right wing back, and Rinomhota go in as a third centre back.
So we've seen Ollie Tanner has departed. Just going to steer on who the other player is that's gone off at half time in that Cardiff side, and it's Alves that's departed. Well, maybe that's a surprise. He looked like one of the more threatening individuals in the Cardiff City team. But we're off and running, start of the second half then here on EFL Game Day Live on Talksport. Sheffield United leading by a 0-0. I'll run you through the two teams, including the changes that we've seen from Cardiff City in a moment. In fact, we'll do it now because it's a throw-in down this left-hand side for Cardiff City, with Sheffield United attacking the Kop away to our right-hand side in this second half. So Cooper's in goal for the Blades. Chowdhury, Holding, Ahmedhodzic and Burrows across the back. Peck and Sousa in midfield, and then Raksaki, Brewster, the goal scorer Harmer, and Tyrese Campbell, the front four for Sheffield United. As for Cardiff, then we got those couple of changes. We'll see how they fit in. Chris Willock, one of those players who's come onto the field of play to replace Will Alves, and Kian Ashford on for Ollie Tanner as well. We'll give you those details in a moment. Chowdhury has the throw first for Sheffield United down this left-hand side, and he gets it forward to only as far as the head of Callum Chambers, who half clears it, taken down in the middle of the park nicely by Robertson. Tries to put Willock in, who seems to have taken up a position on this left-hand side. Ashford on the right-hand side. A bit more of a 4-2-3-1 it looks like for Cardiff City at the start of this second half. Horvath in goal then. Rinomhota, Fish, Chambers and O'Dowd in the back four. Robertson and Manswerk, the two central midfielders, with Ashford on the right, Willock on the left, and Salek tucking in behind Meite, who is the front player for Cardiff City at the start of this second half. So a slight shift in shape, Dean.
Yeah, slightly. Just with more of the two midfielders holding. That's a nice bit of play.
It is nice. Salek has done well there and tries to get it out to Ashford, but important interception from Ahmedhodzic, a couple of yards outside the penalty area. It was required, it was necessary, and Harmer on that far side has conceded the throw-in on that far touchline for Cardiff City, about 10-15 yards inside the Sheffield United half. We've had 2 minutes of the second half on Talksport. Remains Sheffield United 1, Cardiff City 0.
Well, I think we know that Cardiff are going to have to be a bit braver in what they do with the substitutions also. But what is Sheffield United going to do? Are they going to just have that mentality of we've just got to win this game and it doesn't really matter at all how we play? Or is it going to be actually what an opportunity in the second half to be the better side, to get a few more goals, to lift the support and yourselves then going into that game against Burnley?
It's back with Horvath away to our right-hand side. Horvath has started the last 10 for Cardiff, having begun the season It's picked up in the middle of the park though by Chowdhury, and Chowdhury's going to go back to Cooper, away to our left hand side, searching out his 20th clean sheet of the season. Michael Cooper, as we mentioned during that first half, the clean sheets have been a little more of a rarity in the second half of this campaign compared to the first, where they were ever so impressive. It's 6 in a row in September, and the club in its entirety I think managed 9 at one point. Here's Cooper inside his own penalty area, short. Vinny Souza has it once more, out wide to the left-hand side, where it's picked up by Rob Holding. If you're wondering where Jack Robinson is, if you've just joined us, Robinson is amongst the substitutes with a slight hamstring issue. Maybe trying to keep him fit for Monday, of course, in that game against Burnley, which is live on Talksport, 5:30 kickoff on Easter Monday. That's after we've been around the grounds throughout the afternoon with Adrian Durham, of course, on what will be another busy day of EFL action. And that's also ahead of Premier League commentary for you on Monday night here on Talksport as well. And that's the game, of course, between Spurs and Nottingham Forest. Forest being removed from the top 3 by Newcastle in recent days, and Spurs will be looking to capitalise on that terrific victory in the Europa League last night, which I know Dean was watching. Very well deserved for Spurs as well.
Very well deserved. Very well defended, in fact, from Tottenham for that clean sheet.
Don't say that very often about Spurs, do you? I was at Wolves last week, and that wasn't the phrase that was coming from my lips.
Well, they were excellent.
Here come Cardiff down the right-hand side at the start of this second half, as we're both sides just trying to get into a rhythm. Ashford cuts infield, looks very busy. Willett with a little flick on. This is better already from Cardiff. O'Dowda, we never really saw him going forward in that first half, but here he is on this left-hand side, clipping a ball into the 6-yard area, and Cooper will gather it and immediately bowls it out to Harmer. That's an excellent delivery from Cooper. Harmer takes in his stride, just cuts across the defender. He's midway inside the Sheffield United, the Cardiff half now, gets it out wide to Brewster. Brewster, surge of pace inside the box, tries to get the cross away and wins his side the corner down this right-hand side.
But again, lovely work from Cooper, the goalkeeper, nice and bright, and as soon as he collected that out the sky, he was looking, could he get his team away on a counter-attack. Lovely throw out to Harmer, and again he's the creative one, just passes the ball at the right time towards Brewster, who drives towards the byline. Chambers coming across well though.
We have all eyes, of course, on Burnley up next for Sheffield United, but then Stoke next Friday night. That game's live on Talksport 2 before they finish on May the 3rd here at home against Blackburn. They have a corner down this right-hand side now. Raksaki's there, Harmer's there, trying to insist the defender should be further away. He's trying to get a short one maybe from Raksaki. All of this is taking time. Referee Tony Harrington is sorting out some movement and some tugging inside the penalty area. Raksaki's going to have to deliver it in, which he does, but it wasn't the best of deliveries. Mate gets there with a header, and that's poor from Harmer, who gives away possession, but he'll gather it back up for Sheffield United on halfway. 6 minutes played at the start of this second half. You listen to Talksport. Sheffield United 1, Cardiff 0. Remember, the other side near the top of the Championship table, Leeds, are in action from 8 o'clock tonight. That's at Oxford, and we'll have that live and exclusive for you here on Talksport from 8 o'clock this evening. That will be the fourth and final of our Good Friday commentaries. 4 commentaries. Feels like a bit of a great Friday, as opposed to just a good Friday for sure. One thing I noticed about Cardiff when I was getting ready for this game today, I mean, only Leeds, Middlesbrough, Coventry and Sunderland have had more shots on target than Cardiff, but they've got the 4th worst conversion rate of them all. And it probably shows at times, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, look, of course, the positivity of being able to create those moments, but then the frustration of maybe not having the quality to finish them off. And so then as an ownership group, I guess you need to decide with any manager, do you trust that he's getting the best out of the players, but actually you need to give him better players, or whether he's not coaching the players well enough.
In September that Omar Reza was appointed, of course. They had him as temporary manager for a while before confirming him until the end of the season, and well, certainly a bit of paper talk in the last few days about a potential return for Neil Warnock. You can't kind of keep him out the headlines when it comes to some Championship clubs, and there is a theory that maybe he yet could turn up at Cardiff with 3 games to play after today, of course. Oxford, West Bromwich Albion and Norwich, 2 of those home games as well. And maybe Neil Warnock could get a tune out of these players that Omar Reza can't. But all just speculation, but you know what they say, there's no smoke without fire sometimes. Here's O'Dowda, left edge of the penalty area, just turning onto his right foot, though, stays on his left and gives it square. And thinking about the effort was Robertson, but again, they just wait a moment, work it to Willock down this left-hand side. Chris Willock on his right foot. Well, that's a good delivery into Cooper. Mayte was trying to get across it, and no wonder the Cardiff fans are applauding away to our left-hand side. That was right in the danger zone, but Cooper just about managed to gather.
It's a really good ball. It's a really good ball. It just needs maybe a fraction more anticipation from Mayte. Just a little slow to react. If he could have just been a step ahead, he could have got a toe on the end of that ahead of Cooper, but a really good delivery from Willock.
Yeah, it does look a little bit better organised in this second half so far from Cardiff. We are only 9 minutes into the second half, though. Sheffield United still leading by a goal to nil. On halfway, here's young Siddy Peck. He's been starring for the England under-20s on international duty. Yet to score his first senior goal for Sheffield United, though. Here's Holding over halfway down that left-hand side. They're advancing into Cardiff City territory, and the offside flag is up immediately on that far touchline. Harrison Burrows, the player who had strayed. He looks a bit bemused, but the flag on this near side means it'll be a free kick for Cardiff City as that rain starts to tumble down again.
Yeah, a little sort of, who, me? From Burrows? Yes. Yes, you weren't looking across the line. Really good defensive line from Cardiff. And again, a bit like the first half, pretty flat inside Bramall Lane. And again, it's down to the players to try and lift the supporters, not always the other way round.
No, at times the pressure here does tell. They've lost 4 championship games here this season, have Sunderland. Sheffield United, one of them being, I think, the game against Leeds, of course. And if you look at the home games lost by Leeds and Burnley, you just try to have that home advantage. We know Burnley haven't been beaten all season. Leeds have only lost 1 home game, 4 defeats. You just don't expect that here, really, do you?
No, you don't. But it's been a similar story. You know, when that's happened, teams have frustrated Sheffield United, and they haven't just got that quality. I think it was even spoken about by Wilder, saying they'd been better, and like you said, 70% of the possession in the games that they lost, but just not good enough.
Burrows is onside this time, cuts inside towards the edge of the penalty area. Campbell, ball at his feet, onto Burrows. Good save by Horvath at his near post. Excellent play from Burrows into Campbell, forward again, and the shot was definitely on target and goes behind for what will be a corner on that far side.
Well, he should score, but he should also making sure that he hits this across the far side of the goalkeeper. He goes near post in the end and hits Horvath straight in the side of the stomach, when actually if he goes across, there's 2 players there, Brewster and Raksaki, waiting just to slide in if it wasn't on target.
They're a bit livid as well. Certainly Rhian Brewster was fairly furious there with Harrison Burrows. Here's the corner on the far side for Sheffield United. Right-footed, going to be swung in by Gustavo Harmer to the edge of that 6-yard area, where the initial header is won that time by Salek to get it away. Only as far, though, as Peck on this near side. Just holding the ball up this time is Souza. Chowdhury, edge of the centre circle for Burrows, clipping a ball out to Harmer on the far side, plucked out the air quite nicely on that far side, and quite well that time, and the break is on, but it's a break that stopped. Kian Ashford was trying to get away, and now they'll pick it up in the middle of the park with Ahmed Hodzic, again Sheffield United, and go all the way back to Cooper away to our left hand side.
And you're looking at Cardiff and you're thinking, what is the idea? Is the idea to go up to Mayte and play off him? Is the idea to get it wide and get crosses into the box? I mean, quite a few times they have just whacked it forwards from their own defensive positions. They haven't looked to then be calm and try and play through.
You're listening to Sheffield United against Cardiff in EFL Game Day Live on Talksport with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the app and get rewards points. 18 plus. Participating restaurants, delivery fees and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com. Free kick here for Sheffield United on halfway. Taken short Peck out wide to the right-hand side. Raksaki's on the charge with those step-overs again. He's got two round him. Oh, he's gone round them all inside the box, has he? He wants the foul from the referee. He didn't go down under the challenge from O'Dowda at the edge of the penalty area, but there was certainly a little bit of blocking his run, you felt. They've kept possession here, though. Sousa at the edge of the penalty area. Oh, that's poor. I thought he was going to shoot. Tries to clip it out to the left-hand side where the advancing Burrows was, but just found the Cardiff City defender instead, and now the visitors will have a chance to try and counter, and they'll do it through Willock up the middle. Willock will aim to go to the right-hand side, probably where Ashford's got some space. He uses Robertson first. Rinamoto has tried to help him out with a run inside on that far touchline, but Ashford instead goes back inside to Robertson and then to Mansburg, and then back once more to Robertson, and that just keeping the ball here, Cardiff, a little bit better. Willock again to the right, Rinamoto. This time Ashford's gone inside, and it's Ashford he finds just off the angle of the penalty area. Out wide again on that right-hand touchline. Willock once more, just trying to tease and find a way through, but his path is blocked by Harmer excellently, and Peck will now try and find Brewster and bring Sheffield United away. With Harmer on that far side, the left-hand touchline. He's away from Ashford. Ball at feet, that diminutive little figure, just turning and teasing. And in the end, Sheffield United go all the way back inside their own penalty area, and it's with Cooper who'll find Chowdhury on this right-hand side.
I mean, it's a penalty. On Rakzaki, he's just great bit of skill, gets past O'Dowda. O'Dowda holds him back. Yes, he doesn't go down, but he stops because he's being pulled by O'Dowda. Looks at the referee says nothing. Well, then you always think, well, why do players feel like they have to go down?
Rakzaki into Brewster. Brewster in the box, goes down. O'Dowda again with a challenge, but he got the ball this time and out for a corner on this right-hand side.
Yeah, he did get the ball, but he didn't before that. He just held him back. Great bit of skill. Rakzaki got past him. He just held on to him into the area. I mean, for me, it's just an easy penalty decision. He's got his arm round him. He stops because he's being held.
But he didn't go down.
But he didn't go down.
Maybe had he gone down, we may have had a different result. You can't have it both ways, can you?
He shouldn't need to. It was obviously he was just being held.
Rakzaki with a corner. It's just evaded everyone. It's just floated across the edge of the 6-yard area, and nobody was attacking it, and it's gone out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. Vinny Sousa and Peck, I think, are just looking at each other and asking the question, well, I thought you were going. No, I thought you were going, and neither did, and it just glided into the space that was left.
An hour gone. EFL Game Day live on Talksport. Sheffield United 1, Cardiff City 0. What does this mean? It means that Sheffield United will be 5 points behind Burnley when the two go toe-to-toe on Monday at Turf Moor, 5:30, right here on Talksport. If you are going to be out and about for Easter Monday, make sure you've downloaded the Talksport app so you can listen to the games on the move, and obviously swipe between the radio stations as well. There's plenty on there for you too, so get that app downloaded. There's a tab also that will help you with all the commentaries too. City Peck wants a foul on this near side. The referee's not interested. Instead it's a throw for Cardiff City midway inside their own half, which is taken short by Robertson. And now they'll look to come forward with Will Fish, the only player who's gone in the referee's book so far. Fish goes back to Horvath, away to our right-hand side, and the man who's, of course, spent some time at Forest and Luton and Bruges and Mulder as well, will look to clear the ball from inside his own penalty area. And he goes long towards Meite on this near side. He's peeled off against Ahmed Hodzic, who wins the header quite comfortably, and going sliding in with the challenge is Robertson, but you're not going to win those against Chowdhury. But it does fall nicely here for Cardiff towards the edge of the penalty area, and tried to get the shot away then Yusuf Salek, but again, a really good challenge at the edge of the penalty area for Sheffield United.
Yeah, it was, but that's now 4 times that I've counted Cardiff been in a good position and been really slow to make their mind up and get that ball out of their feet for an attempt, and been challenged by Sheffield United. Again, that you can't have that hesitation. You have to be quick in your thinking and your execution.
Chowdhury just short of halfway. 1-0 to Sheffield United. All the time it's 1-0, there will be nerves. There is no two ways about it. And remember, Cardiff City need the points as much. They sit second bottom in the Championship right now. As I said, they were last in the Premier League, if you can remember that, 2018-2019. And it was 2002-2003 when they drop down to the third tier of English football. And a problem here for Robertson, I think, that needs dealing with. Tony Harrington allowing the physio to come on. There's an exchange of views between Harrington and the Cardiff bench as well. He's doing too many people many favours today, Tony Harrington. He's not the most popular so far.
No, I mean, I think at times he's tried to let things go when players are trying to win free kicks, but then at the same time it's then affected the decisions where there is actually contact and it is a foul and he's not blown up because of it, and that the penalty included.
If you are travelling back from a game that you've attended today and you have got some frustrations or some views, or you just want to chat, then feel free to do so. You can do it several ways. The number is 03717 22 3344. You can send us a WhatsApp, you can send us a voice note, or you can even call that number if you want to. And Adi Oladipo will be doing some more of your messages, voice notes, etc. as we build up to our 8 o'clock kick-off tonight, the game between Oxford United and Leeds United, and we'll get some team news on that in about 10 minutes time or so. Sheffield United taking this injury as a chance to make some changes, and we're going to see the departure of Rhian Brewster and Tyrese Campbell. So the two front players are on their way. Callum O'Hare and Kiefer Moore is coming on. Of course, Kiefer Moore has history as a former Cardiff player, 25 goals in 66 appearances for Cardiff. Callum O'Hare, of course, is the former Aston Villa and Coventry City player, and it was Kiefer Moore who scored twice in the game down at Cardiff in December to give Sheffield United their 2-0 victory.
Yeah, nice luxury to have, isn't it, for Chris Wilder to be able to change up that front line with Moore and O'Hare. Not so much for Omar Risa to look at his bench and have that sort of quality to bring on.
Actually made his career debut in 2017 for Aston Villa against Cardiff, did Callum O'Hare. He's been a bit dry on the goals front recently. Hasn't scored since the 8th of December. Almost scored against Coventry, against his former side, of course. A little bit of acrimony in that departure in the summer for free. Certainly Gustavo Harmer, who departed there for the £15 million, was given a warm reception by the Coventry City supporters, but O'Hare not quite so. Holding short into Peck inside the centre circle. 25 minutes to go here. Sheffield United leading by a 1-0 against Cardiff City. Here is O'Hare with his first touch and first involvement in the game, as he gets it back from Peck on that far side. Harmer back to Peck. Small passes, 2 or 3 yards at a time. Harmer curls the ball round, looking for the run of Raksaki. O'Dowda did well. He won the header, and there's claims that he grabbed the ball before he got out of play.
He probably did.
Probably quite a tight one, wasn't it?
Probably did.
Chris Wilder not happy. It will be a throw instead. Chowdhury just making his point to the assistant on this near side. And it will be Chowdhury who gives it in short towards the feet of Siddy Peck. They'll win it back through Harmer. Will they? No. Ashford's going to get away on that right-hand side. He's got Kiefer Moore in hot pursuit. He's got Burrows ahead of him, and in the end, Ashford goes down, loses the ball, and it's a throw for Sheffield United on the far side.
They just can't build anything at all, can they, Cardiff? No momentum towards the penalty area. Really struggled in this second half in particular.
Well, I think Cardiff have signalled and put the form in to make a change. The referee stopped the game to say, well, hang on, and yet he's still wearing his bib. Here's David Turnbull, but he's going to come on now to replace Alex Robertson in another change for Cardiff City. And Turnbull, the former Celtic man, heads on. Missed a fair chunk of the season this season. It's only his 8th substitute appearance, 16th appearance overall. Missed most of December, January and February, but Turnbull is on for Cardiff City.
Yeah, Robertson, I think, just twinging the knee, I think, in that challenge with Hamza Chowdhury. Just not able to continue.
Well, most challenges from Hamza Chowdhury are full-blooded, so it's no great surprise. Here is Sousa, shifting play down that left-hand side. Burrows does well to keep it in. It was just beyond him, too much on that pass from Sousa, who then commits the foul on halfway, and it's a free kick for Cardiff City.
Again, though, the longer it stays at 1-0, the more nervy that's going to feel towards the end of the game for Sheffield United. I think that's why he's made the changes at the top end of the pitch, because he knows he probably needs that second goal, Chris Wilder, just to ease those nerves, because you don't want to be going into the last 5 minutes still at 1-0 and Cardiff maybe throwing balls into the box.
Here's the free kick for Cardiff, goes towards the edge of the box. It's headed away that time there by Kiefer Moore, so they've now got that additional level of defensive ability in the air from Moore. But Chowdhury insists immediately, pulls his arm away to say, I didn't touch O'Dowda, but the referee's having none of it and actually gets his yellow card out.
I think it was just really good play actually from O'Dowda. Nice and sharp down the left hand side, just got there first, and ultimately there's not a massive amount of contact, but ultimately you've stopped a really promising attack. Hamza Chowdhury has, and rightly so, gets the yellow card.
David Turnbull just on as a substitute is going to take this free kick midway inside the Sheffield United half down this left hand side, a couple of yards in from this near touchline. We're beyond the midway point of the second half. EFL Game Day Live on Talksport. Sheffield United 1, Cardiff City 0. Leeds at Oxford to come at 8 o'clock this evening. Here's Turnbull swinging that ball in right into the danger zone, and the head in the end I think came from Souza and puts it behind for what will be a corner on the far side for Cardiff City.
Yeah, it's a really good delivery from Turnbull into a dangerous area. Really good defensive header from Vinny Souza as well. But again, at 1-0, every set play is a nervy one.
They've won 10 games this championship season by the scoreline of 1-0. Only Millwall have managed to do it more. But it is a dangerous scoreline, and they want another here, and that's a volley over the bar. The corner swung into the edge of the 6-yard box, and it was met on the volley brilliantly that time by Fish, and it's just over the crossbar.
Yeah, well, it just misses the first few men, and then Fish is the third man running in, and doesn't have much time to think about it, just swings a right leg at it, tries to get the side foot on it. He's definitely close, 2 or 3 feet above the crossbar with the volley. He did so well because he was under pressure too, just to try his best to keep it down.
And I guess that's the thing, is it? When you've won 10 games by a goal to nil, there's going to be moments when you don't win those games, even though you're sat on that scoreline and maybe just a little defensive error or a decent set piece, and all of a sudden you're undone. And that's the worry for Sheffield United, isn't it?
Well, and there can be no more slip-ups. You know, we're at that point. They cannot draw this game. They have to get 3 points. They have to keep some pressure on. And so it would feel like just a massive letdown if they weren't able to go on and win this game with how the game's panned out.
Here they come again down that left-hand side with Kiefer Moore just trying to turn away, but he's dispossessed, and an opportunity maybe down that right-hand side as it's into Willock. Willock going forward, he finds Salek on that far touchline, clips the ball over towards Mate, who gets the header away, and it's straight into the arms of Cooper. And Cardiff just beginning to find opportunities.
Yeah, they worked it really well down the right-hand side between Willock and Selec. Selec standing up the cross again. Mate, brilliant in the air, great leap up above Chowdhury. Again, decent direction, but it's so difficult to get the power when the cross isn't flashed in, when you're trying to generate it yourself when you're up against a defender. It's very difficult.
Chambers dispossessed, ball played through by Kiefer Moore to Souza, who's continuing the run. He feels he was impeded. The referee says no, and the play continues up to Mate. They want a handball this time. Mate goes down, but he's one possession. Ashford now down this left-hand side on the run inside the box, looking to take on Chowdhury. Looks to fall to the ground after a little nudge from Chowdhury, but it's brilliant from Hamza Chowdhury, and he'll clear it away down this near touchline for Sheffield United. O'Hare will flick on. Moore will try and put some pressure on Fish, who hooks it over his head back inside the Sheffield United half, and it's picked up by Peck. O'Hare again. Harmer, brilliant quick feet, takes him away. Harmer towards the edge of the penalty area. He's got Moore ahead of him. Kiefer Moore with a left-footed shot. And it's an excellent block that time from Chambers, who tracked his run all the way.
He did, but it was beautifully played again from Harmer. He's got this great ability to know just when to play the ball. The right timing of it, just waiting for the movement before he plays it. And the weight of the pass is perfect for Kiefer Moore to be able to strike it on the run. First time, Chambers, outstanding. outstanding to read it, outstanding to stretch and make a block there.
Corner on that far side for Sheffield United. It's getting tense inside Bramall Lane. 17 minutes remaining here. Sheffield United 1, Cardiff City 0. The season is on the line in the next 18 minutes. Here's the corner on the far side. Harmer, right-footed. They cannot afford not to win this game. And again, it's come towards the back post where it was almost picked up by Vinny Souza. Right-footed ball in from Peck. Headed down. Chance to finish it for O'Hare, maybe at the edge of the 6-yard box. He and Raksaki potentially got in each other's way, and Cardiff managed to get it clear.
Oh, you just thought it was going to fall for Raksaki there just to strike it, or O'Hare. Not sure whether someone stood on it.
Oh, here's Harmer, away down the left-hand side. Harmer inside the penalty area. Sight angle, looks to pull it across. And the arriving Callum O'Hare was waiting, but Cardiff defend it brilliantly. On the right-hand side, Cardiff now looking to counter. Good ball into the feet of Salek inside the centre circle. Again, claims of handball. Tony Harrington not interested. Here's O'Dowda down the left-hand side. He's got Willock ahead of him and outside of him. And it's Chris Willock, the former QPR player, who he goes to on this left-hand side. On his right foot, takes a deflection off Chowdhury. Edge of the penalty area. Almost breaks this time and Moore tries to win it back, but he can't. Here's O'Dowda again. Left-hand side. Willock looking to take on Raksaki. Right-footed ball flung over. Flicks off the head that time of Peck. Out to Harmer on the far side. And Sheffield United will just lob the ball clear inside the Cardiff City half. And Cardiff will try and come again on that far touchline. We'll get that team news from the Kassam in a moment or two. But here come Cardiff City on the attack again. The ball short with David Turnbull. Left-hand side. Charging forward this time is Chambers. Chambers finds Willock in an advanced position. Left-hand edge of the penalty area. Willock looks for options. Left-footed ball comes across. Almost came to Maytag. Edge of the penalty area. It's again Turnbull. Loses out to Souza. Souza will then try and break away for Sheffield United. But again possession picked up by Fish on that far side. And Rinomota now has it. And at the moment it's going end to end. But Cardiff have got them penned in.
Yeah, Cardiff have been able to build a little bit of momentum since their changes. And Sheffield United getting deeper, looking just for a counter-attack now.
They are. Chowdhury gets it away to Raksaki, and now Peck on the charge down the right-hand side. He's got Raksaki ahead of him. He's 10 yards inside Cardiff territory. Raksaki ball at feet, goes down and gets the free kick that time with a challenge from David Turnbull. Let's get that team news from the Kassam. Leeds taking on Oxford United later. Kevin Hatchard.
Oxford make 2 changes. Chemiswev Poaheta replaces Stanley Mills. Mark Harris gets the nod in attack. He's in for Tom Bradshaw. Leeds unchanged, but Dan James is fit enough for a place on the bench. Oxford against Leeds, 8 o'clock kickoff, live on Talksport.
Can't wait for it once we're done here at Bramall Lane. It'll be a chance, of course, for Leeds to return to the top of the table. Burnley are there right now, 3 points clear of Leeds and 5 clear as things stand of Sheffield United. And that's because Sheffield United lead here by a 0-0. Reuben Colwell has come on. Final change for Cardiff. Looks like there's going to be another change here for Sheffield United. Ben Brereton Diaz is ready to come on. Chowdhury taking on Water. In the meantime, it's a free kick, which Harmer is over. No surprise, surely he's too far out this time, maybe. Just over 30 yards. Way to the right of the D, and they've certainly loaded the penalty area on that far side with the likes of Kiefer Moore, etc. And I think Tony Harrington's saying you can do the substitution now if you want to. And he is, and it's going to be Raksaki who's coming off, and it will be Brereton Diaz who comes on for Sheffield United.
He's had a good game. Raksaki has given O'Dowda some real problems. Probably should have won a penalty, in my opinion. Again, not a bad replacement to bring on.
Brereton Diaz is on. He hasn't scored in his last 7 games. Has hit the net 3 times since he arrived on loan from Southampton. Didn't score for them this season in the Premier League. So in the Championship, in the Premier League, should I say, of course. They're going back down to the Championship. This one's come to the edge of the box. Peck's going to drive one. And he gets it all wrong, really. On target, not. Just to the right of the right-hand post of Horvath. Just didn't really work out, that one, for Sheffield United.
Nobody's really improved over the season, hasn't he? Sidney Peck, obviously our blaster out of the team with a knee injury for most of the season, so it's been an opportunity for him and he's really taken it.
He was an Arsenal man till the age of 15 before coming up to the Sheffield United Academy. And I think that was one of the things that he made really clear, Chris Wilder, at the end of last season. It's going to be a mix. We're going to have to get some experienced bodies in, but we also want to promote from within, and he's done it incredibly well. Just obviously our blaster's injury denying them a real kind of force in that midfield. Colwell is on, and he has possession of the ball on the far side. Finds Rinomhota. Back to Rinomhota on the far side again from Colwell, and they'll just keep possession here. Cardiff trying to work an opening. 11.5 minutes. They will stay, as things stand, second bottom in the Championship. Huge for them. Mayte flicks that one on towards the edge of the penalty area. Good header won by Holding. Willock has picked it up. He's looked lively since coming on at half-time for Cardiff City. Ashford on that far side, another one who's full of energy, full of running. Has already found the net here at Bramall Lane this season. He's looked a threat on that right-hand side too. Here comes Callum Chambers at the edge of the centre circle. Left-hand side for O'Dowd. He's not got many options here apart from to go central and find Fish. Fish to the right-hand side. Rinomhota's there. Now it's wide to Ashford again. Turnbull's cut infield. Ashford goes in low into the penalty area. And it's half cleared away that time by Sidney Peck. On that far side, a real battle royal between Ruben Colville and Vinny Souza, and Souza in the end wins it, gets it clear, but Cardiff keep it there and they keep Sheffield United penned in around the edge of their own penalty area. Brilliant from Ashford on the far side. Lovely bit of skill. Helps it in. Colwell once more. He's got Rinomhota outside of him. Just assesses his options. He's closed down by Callum O'Hare, who's doing all the hard work here as we head towards the last 10 minutes of the game. And at this moment in time, Cardiff City keeping the ball incredibly well.
Yeah, what they're doing is they're winning that second ball when Sheffield United are trying to get it away. They're making sure they win that and just recycle it and then keep that pressure on, and the momentum builds and the pressure builds. Yet to really have a telling pass or a telling cross or a real good opportunity to be created, though.
10 minutes remaining. EFL Game Day Live on Talksport. Sheffield United 1, Cardiff City 0. Throw down this right-hand side for Hamza Chowdhury. On loan from Leicester, in towards Keith Moore. Headed away inside the penalty area. Picked up by Harmer on this far side. Appeals for handball on this near touchline from Willock. Oh, Harmer's brilliant. He's taken two out of the game. Harmer looks to pull it back. Stuck under the feet of O'Hare. And then trying to get his shot away was Brereton Diaz inside the box. Comes out to the edge of the penalty area. Burrows is there. Left-footed ball swung over. Header from Peck. Straight comfortably at Horvath.
Brilliant from Gustavo Harmer again. He just faked as if he's going to go down the line. He saw that the defender was going to come across and just let him go past him. I think it was Turnbull, and then got the other side, won the ball, drove in towards the penalty area, picked out a great pass for O'Hare, who couldn't quite control. Brereton Diaz thinks he's going to score, and just as he's about to smash it towards goal, I think it was Fish that just got his toe to the ball to take it away from Brereton Diaz.
The nerves are jangling. 8.5 minutes plus stoppage time to play. You're listening to Talk Sport. The Talksport network, of course, is your home of the EFL. We're heading towards that time of the season. All of the playoffs live and exclusive across the Talksport network. Sheffield United 1, Cardiff City 0. Cardiff on the attack. Ruben Colwell the substitute. Loses possession midway inside his own half. And now, Harmer, still full of running down this right-hand side. He wants options ahead of him. Poor pass, a tired pass from Harmer. He's easily cut out that time by Chambers. And Cardiff will have it down this left-hand side again. Willock. Mistakes may start to creep in as Harmer puts a challenge in. But he does look exhausted.
Yeah,
there's no surprise.
It was a tired pass, wasn't it? It was the right idea, and now he's gone down. Just sort of saying to the coaching staff that he's not happy, actually, is he?
I think he just said to Chris Wilder, "Why am I still out here?" Yeah. But he is, as Chowdhury goes in and wins the challenge. It will be a throw down this left-hand side for Cardiff City, midway inside the Sheffield United half. And Harmer has gone down, and they want some treatment, which Tony Harrington is going to facilitate. So the way things stand at the top of the table right now, if this stays the way it is, Burnley have 91 points from their 43 games. Leeds have 88 points from 42, but they kick off in around 50 minutes time from now at Oxford United, a game you'll hear live here on Talksport. Sheffield United 86 points from 43 games. And a reminder, on Monday, 5:30 kickoff, Burnley against Sheffield United. All along for the last kind of couple of months, everyone's kind of had their eyes on that fixture, saying that could be pivotal. And it could be pivotal in the sense that if Sheffield United were to be victorious, become the first team to beat Burnley at Turf Moor this season, then it's back to game on, really, isn't it?
Oh, it is, very much so. And that's all you've got to be thinking as a Sheffield United player, is make sure we now get through 6.5 plus added time in this game, get yourselves the 3 points, and then focus to see if you can put in a really, really big performance to get a massive result against Burnley.
Gustavo Harmer is coming off, and we're going to see Jack Robinson coming on. So whatever's wrong with the hamstring, no. Well, Robinson is going to come on, but we're also going to see Femi Siriki coming on, and Rob Holding is coming off, and Jack Robinson is coming on.
Yeah, he's been struggling with a bit of cramp, Rob Holding. He tried to take one of those juices or gels, whatever they're given from the side, to keep it away, but he couldn't. So Robinson comes on, so the hamstring must be okay.
Only a second start for Sheffield United for Rob Holding. Guess the captain's armband on Vinny Souza. And it is going to be a throw down this left-hand side for Cardiff. O'Dowda's going to take it. Well, we've had literally maybe 2 minutes of stoppage time there, so I think we're in for an anxious finale here for the Sheffield United supporters, and maybe it'll give some hope to Cardiff City, who equally desperately need the points as things stand. They are second bottom, and that's where they'll stay, a point behind Luton and Derby, the two teams above them. So there is still an opportunity there, but time is running out, given the form they're in, because of all the sides near the bottom, they aren't in the best of form right now. Cardiff have it, midway inside their own half. Here's Turnbull, 5 minutes plus stoppage time to play. You're listening to Talksport. Sheffield United 1, Cardiff City 0. Here they come again with Turnbull towards the edge of the penalty area. Out wide to O'Dowda on this left-hand side. Cross takes a deflection that time of Siriki, and it goes out for what will be a throw on this near touchline. So Chowdhury looks like he's gone in to stiffen up midfield a little, with Siriki coming on at right back. Robinson going in alongside Ahmed Hodzic, obviously. Here's a throw. Tanner may have gone, but O'Dowda fancies his chances with a long throw as well. And it's a decent one to the edge of the 6-yard area. Bounces down and almost came to the head that time of Salek, who was in the 6-yard area, but cleared as far as halfway. Colwell's there. Rinamoto under pressure for Moore. Oh, Moore's taking it off his toes. Kiefer Moore charging into the edge of the penalty area. Can he finish it? Lays the ball across for Brereton Diaz, and he can. And Sheffield United surely wrap up the points. Suddenly Good Friday has become a great Friday in Sheffield, and it's Brereton Diaz with a finish with 4 minutes remaining, and it's a 4th championship goal of the season for him. And Chris Wilder sips on his drink very calmly in the technical area, because that's going to be a win for Sheffield United. They lead Cardiff City by 2-0.
Relief. That's what that is. That's the feeling around Bramall Lane, because it was starting to get nervy, but Rinamoto's given them a gift. He was just messing around, not being able to get out of his feet and make a decision, and Kiefer Moore just closed him down, won the ball, drove towards the penalty area. He hasn't quite got the pace to get away properly, but as he strikes towards goal, it's another deflection for Sheffield United that falls kindly, but this time to Brereton Diaz again. This anticipation, he just gets his head down and drive towards the penalty area, hoping for that ball across. It ricochets towards him. He is not going to miss that. Firm side foot into the back of the net, and he wheels away. That should be it.
Yeah, it's definitely a shot from Kiefer Moore, isn't it, that gets deflected into the path of Brereton Diaz. And with 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time to play here on Talksport, Sheffield United lay down the gauntlet to Burnley and say, look, you may have that 5-point advantage, but we are still here.
Well, and also to Leeds, who will be sort of anxiously watching this result too. That's all you're trying to do, is then just swing that pressure back towards the next team to play.
Well, again, another problem for Cardiff, an injury issue. And I think they may have made all that sense. Ruben Colville has only just come on, who's gone down injured. Immediately being helped over to the sidelines here. And they do have one more change to make. Joel Bagan is going to come on. Well, Colville's day has lasted a matter of maybe 10 minutes at a push.
No, it's a shame, isn't it? I think it's, again, the muscle injury, whether it's calf or hamstring.
Well, it's going to be Bagan who will enter the fray. He's had 2 red cards in his career, I noticed as well, actually. Both of those against Leeds United, so he sometimes gets into a bit of a sticky bother against teams from Yorkshire. Throw down this right-hand side from Sadiqi. And there is a buzz around Bramall Lane now. The tension has been replaced by absolute relief as O'Hare's on a charge towards the corner flag down this right-hand side. He's got 2 round him. It's brilliant from O'Hare. He's fouled in the end. That's terrific from Callum O'Hare. He had 2 on him, and he did them both, and in the end, all they could do was bring him down.
He's a quality player, Callum O'Hare. He maybe hasn't reached the heights in terms of goals or assists that you would expect from someone with his talents, but he'll always give you that little bit to smile about in the way that he plays.
Taken short, Peck, Sadiqi, Chowdhury, edge of the penalty area. Here's Peck, tries the shot, cheeky little one, and Horvath goes down and makes the save inside his 6-yard area. We're about to find out how much added time there'll be at the end of this game here at Bramall Lane. It's EFL Game Day Live on Talksport. Sheffield United leading Cardiff by 2-0. Big day in the EFL today, big day in the Premier League tomorrow, and also, of course, in the Women's Champions League as well. We're going to have 6 added minutes here at Bramall Lane, 6 minutes. So 12:30 tomorrow over on Talksport 2. Arsenal against Lyon in the Women's Champions League semi-final first leg. And over on Talksport from 1, it's Game Day Live with Adrian Durham, Scott Minto and some chap called Dean Ashton. We've got the goals as they go in from the Premier League. Everton, Man City, Brentford against Brighton, Crystal Palace against Bournemouth. And reminder that Brentford against Brighton is our Talksport 2 commentary tomorrow afternoon from 3 o'clock. Here come Cardiff down the right-hand side. On the attack, early ball in, headed down and into the arms of Cooper, away to our left-hand side by Salek that time. And just a reminder that Cardiff can still be dangerous.
Yeah, they can. Ashford with a great delivery in, but that's now 4 attempts, headed attempts from Cardiff, 2 from Meite, 1 now from Salek. Just haven't had the power on the header to really cause any issues for Cooper.
Straight at the keeper each time as well, haven't they? No direction. As Moore tries to wrestle hard and win the ball down this right-hand side. The throw-in goes Sheffield United way at the edge of the penalty area. So on Sunday from 1:30, just to round up the rest of your football weekend, we've got the Sunday session with Adrian Durham, Perry Groves and Mickey Gray from 1:30 on Talksport. Again, Liverpool could become Premier League champions on Sunday afternoon. Here's Sadiqi, gets the crossover. Brereton Diaz coming in to try and win a header at the back post and to really seal the deal and finish off the day in style. And down that right-hand side, Ashford again. Little pull on his shirt from Brereton Diaz, noticed by Tony Harrington, and that will be a free kick on that far side. We have the second Women's Champions League semi-final first leg as well. Barcelona against Chelsea, that's from 5 o'clock. And then we're back in EFL mode throughout the day on Monday. We've once again got 3 live commentaries for you. 1 from League 2 and 2 from the Championship, and then a Premier League commentary to finish the day as well. Tottenham against Nottingham Forest right here on Talksport. Prior to that, Burnley against Sheffield United, a huge game in the Championship. Leeds against Stoke is over on Talksport 2 from 3, and at 12:30 Newport against Walsall from League 2. And of course, as ever, on Monday afternoon, Adrian Durham will be taking you round the grounds from 1 o'clock here on Talksport. So that's your sporting weekend across this bank holiday. It started perfectly so far for Chris Wilder and Sheffield United, following up that earlier win today for Burnley, who beat Watford, the 9 men of Watford, by 2-1 to go top of the table again. That's the 30th change at the top this season. It only happened 10 times last season. There was a change at the top. Just shows how dramatic it's been at the top of this championship throughout the campaign. And a play on the far side for a throw to Sheffield United on halfway. We've talked a lot about what it means for Sheffield United. What does this mean for Cardiff and Omar Isa? They will stay second bottom and really in mind. But the gap is only a point to safety.
Well, that smoke from the fire will get bigger around possibility of maybe a Neil Warnock, somebody that, you know, can try and get something out of the last 3 games. You know, 2 of them being at home. It's going to be difficult, of course it is, but you know, when you're down there, you just need to get big results out of the blue that could keep you up. And so it's a big decision for the Cardiff City owners as to what to do.
I was going to say, they did have a little upturn in fortune. They got up to 17th in early November when they managed to take 14 points from 6 games, and I think that probably persuaded them that Omar Isa was the man to take them forward at that point. But it's been a rough old run since then. Yeah, a 7-game unbeaten run from late December through to January as well. But that 7-0 defeat to Leeds, I think, means they've only won 2 of their last 13. About to become 14. Another header this time, straight into the arms of Cooper after good work down this left-hand side by O'Dowda. And you can maybe see why the stats of shots on target are good, but not conversion, because we've seen a fair few of them today.
Yes, we have, yeah. Exactly. I mean, the stats only tell you one thing. It's, you know, looking at those, the accuracy was there, literally no power in anything that we've seen today from Cardiff City. And obviously missing Robinson today, missing Perry NG, El Ghazi, Ramsey, Joe Rawls, you know, key players that you really need in this sort of a run-in.
Foul on Keith Moore, the ironic cheers from the home support. Tony Harrington giving the free kick the way of Sheffield United. Just over a minute or so of added time to play. Sheffield United 2, Cardiff 0. O'Hare down the right hand side again. He's got 2 round him, but he finds Sadiki at the byline. Sadiki now into the box, tries to tee it up for Moore. Was he caught late? The referee says no. The ball had been played. Burrows has it on the far side, gives it short to Peck. Peck will turn. Oh, brilliant from Peck. Does really well. He's got Brereton Diaz there with him, but he's heading towards the corner flag. Then he tries to cross it in, and he wins his side, the corner on that far side, that left hand side.
Yeah, well, Sariki, he thinks it's a penalty. I mean, he gets the ball away. It's just whether there's actually a challenge there from Bagan, or whether actually he just stands his ground, which I think is probably the latter.
Feels a bit like Sariki ran into it there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Here's the corner on that far side. I suspect this may be a short one, given that we are into the last maybe 20 seconds or so. Brereton Diaz tries to cross it. Cardiff all look to bring it clear from deep inside their own half with Turnbull to Ashford, who's been very impressive since he came on for Cardiff City. Well, that's broken nicely for Brereton Diaz inside the penalty area. Gets the shot that's blocked. It's going to be another corner. We've had 6 added minutes. Tony Harrington, the referee, checks his watch and then says that's enough. And Sheffield United send out a reminder to Burnley and Leeds. We are still here. The 3 defeats in a row are put to bed with a victory at home against Cardiff City by 2-0. And it means that Sheffield United will head to Burnley on Monday with the gap of 5 points. A game you'll hear live on Talksport from 5:30. But they are still in there. Yes, no doubt Leeds and Burnley are in pole position, but you would never ever write off Chris Wilder's Sheffield United side. A goal in the first half from Gustavo Harmer, and the nerves were settled towards the end, courtesy of Ben Brereton Diaz. A bit of fortune with both of those goals, you feel, with deflections falling for Sheffield United, but sometimes you need those lucky breaks, and tonight it feels like they came Sheffield United's way. So they will be 5 points behind Burnley, 2 points behind Leeds, who are underway in just over half an hour from now. As for Cardiff City, they stay second bottom, a point away from safety. Big games to come for them, starting with Oxford at home on Monday, followed by West Bromwich Albion at home and Norwich away too. As for Sheffield United, after Burnley, they'll be live on Talksport 2 next Friday night away at Stoke before finishing the campaign at Blackburn Rovers. But a Good Friday is a great Friday for Sheffield United. They've won here at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United 2, Cardiff City 0.
And it could be an even better Monday. Just how big is that game now at Turf Moor between Burnley and Sheffield United? Massive, massive game for Scott Parker and for Chris Wilder. In the end, I just felt like Cardiff maybe just didn't have enough up front. They lacked Robinson, they lacked Ramsey. And you can see the difference, Ashton. When you look at what Sheffield United are able to bring off the bench in Kiefer Moore and Brereton Diaz, and unfortunately, Omar Rizza can't do that.
Yeah, it feels a bit unfair. It does when Sheffield United have those riches, which is why Chris Wilder, I think, was so frustrated in the last 3 games, because he's got that firepower and they haven't been able to win the games. Whereas Cardiff are just kind of slugging it out. You know, 3 draws in their last 5 and just trying to squeeze every last ounce of what he's got without those key players that, you know, we talked about and you've just mentioned there. And it really showed today. There was some good parts, and they created, you know, good moments from wide areas, but really lacked the conviction and the quality to get anything out of the game, when actually it felt like Sheffield United were kind of there actually to get a result against today.
Yeah, it was the first half dominated by sort of just the tenacity and midfield sort of bullish runs by Gustavo Harmer, a fantastic goal which kind of just reinforced that. He hit the post as well. He ran out of steam towards the end in the second half, but you can understand why, because he left everything out on that pitch.
Yeah, he did. He was the creative force. He was the bravest player out there, I felt. Him and Raksaki, I think Raksaki was close in that sense. When the tension's high, you're able to still rise above that and perform. And Harmer did that. You know, he's just picked up his Player of the Match award down on the pitch and gingerly sort of walking off. They all put a shift in. There's no doubt Sheffield United did, and it was about the win. And they'll just be delighted now that they can take it to Monday, refresh, and try and really focus on what is just a gigantic game.
It was nervy for all the Bramall Lane faithful up until the 83rd, 84th minute. Should it have been less nervy? Was Raksaki unlucky not to have a penalty? A nice mazy run, and he clearly gets pulled back.
I just think it's really obvious that it's a penalty. Just a brilliant bit of skill. Gets past O'Dowd, and O'Dowd just holds him. Okay, he doesn't fall to the floor. He just stops as if to say, well, referee, it has to be. I don't understand it. I don't like it either, because he was clearly fouled, and because he doesn't go down and throw himself to the floor, he doesn't get the decision, and we don't want players to do that anyway. So I just thought it was a strange decision from the referee.
Yeah, Rinamoto had a bit of a nightmare, giving it away. Kiefer Moore maybe not got the legs he used to have, but he gets away from Rinamoto. He's fortunate. It's clearly a shot, takes a deflection, pulls to Brereton Diaz, makes no mistake, 2-0.
No, he doesn't, yeah. I mean, look, Kiefer Moore, I'm sure, will admit that pace isn't his biggest strength, but ultimately he did the work, didn't he? He did the work to win it back. Rinamoto was slow in the uptake when the ball came to him. He made the most of that. He got his shot away, and again, it's, you know, sometimes it's just about unselfish running. It's about running for the sake of running, hoping it might fall to you. That's what being a forward is anticipating and gambling where the ball just might fall, and Brereton Diaz did it very well, tucked it away, and you could just sense the relief around this place straight away. It was all calm again. They realised they'd won the game, and they could just see it out.
As for Cardiff, they huffed and puffed in the second half, and look, they had a go. I think Ashford and Willock bring something completely different on the flanks, but ultimately Cooper didn't really have anything to do in goal.
No, he wasn't tested at all, but you're right, Ashford and Willock were decent actually, and you think they're going to start the next game just with that performance alone since coming on compared to the first half. Difficult of course. It'll be really interesting to see what happens after this game in the next few days as to whether there is a change, whether that hangover from what the manager talked about before this game is still there, with a certain Mr. Warnock always lurking in the background.
Yeah, as for Cardiff, it's Oxford next. Obviously Oxford take on Leeds. That's our game coming up in about 20 minutes or so. West Brom as well for Cardiff, and Norwich. Where do they get the points there?
I mean, look, if you've got 2 out of the 3 at home, you've got to try and use the crowd. You've got to try and build something on the day, and try and have that intensity that they maybe lacked. And then Norwich have shown today how poor they were at home. I think they've checked out pretty much. So I think if you're Cardiff, you want to take it to the last day. You want to make sure that you're in a position to stay up on the last day. With getting nothing now, it's only a point between them and getting out of the relegation zone. So just take it to the last day. I think that's what I'd be saying in and around the place for the next week or so.
Yeah, as for Sheffield United, up next for them is that trip to Turf Moor. I mean, live on Talksport on Monday, massive game. But do you almost feel like the top two will be the top two? Do you feel like Sheffield United can get on a run after those 3 defeats?
I just think they're in better form going into these last few games. I think that is key. But as we've just seen and listened, that they've got the quality. There's no doubt Sheffield United have the players. They've had the performances throughout the season where you can tell they're good enough. And strange things happen when the pressure's really on at this stage of the season. I think they'll just be pleased that they've got this opportunity now by winning today to be able to go there and get a massive result. And it would swing it wide open if they did. Big relief there for Chris Wilder and for Sheffield United. Dino, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Dean Ashton, great job on comms with Adam Bridge. Oxford against Leeds coming up next here on Talksport. But at Bramall Lane, Sheffield United stays second and Cardiff stays second bottom with goals from Hammer and Brereton Diaz in a 2-0 win for the host.